Night here in Cunningham Stadium, a beautiful night for high school football. Thank you so much for joining us on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio for Pendleton Bulldog football, sponsored by Longhorn Steakhouse. David Poley, Sam Gaudreau with you on Halloween night and also senior night for the Pendleton Bulldogs as they have a massive matchup. The last game of the regular season falls on the last day of October as the Bulldogs, 5-4, 2-1 in Region 1 in 3A, take on the visiting Crescent Tigers, who are 6-3 and also 2-1 in Region 3A for a battle for the 2 seed in Region 1 in 3A. Sam, beautiful night for high school football. Thank you for joining me tonight.
Absolutely, Dave. It's a pleasure to be here. And as you said, a lot on the line for these two teams tonight. A host in the South Carolina playoffs, South Carolina High School League playoffs in round 1 on the line between these two teams tonight. Two teams that have had similar results this season. As you mentioned, Crescent 6-3 on the year, Pendleton 5-4. Both are 2-1 in the region. They have faced some common opponents. So definitely going to be a tightly contested matchup tonight. And hopefully the home crowd here in Cunningham Stadium is just enough to push our Bulldogs over the top.
Home crowd in support of many seniors tonight that are being honored, the fans, the Bulldog faithful out here in large droves as Clemson also has homecoming tomorrow, so a big packed audience tonight, vibrant crowd is in town in Pendleton ready for this match. I want to take some time to thank all of our sponsors who make this possible, specifically Longhorn Steakhouse, our title sponsor, Rains on Exchange, Rogers Petroleum Incorporated, Guy's Pizza, Empire Homes, Pendleton Historic Foundation, Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck, West Cox Attorney at Law, Liberty Hall Bed and Breakfast, Black Tie Cahaly's, Foothills Community Church, Crenshaws, Tiger Express Wash, and Mac.Bid. This is the pregame show sponsored by Guy's Pizza, and let's just take a look in what really is happening here tonight. So it is the battle for the 2 seed in Region 1 and 3A. The winner will host not only next week's first-round playoff matchup, but most likely, almost definitely, the second-round matchup as well, because the winner tonight will play the winner of will play Union County in the first round, and second round likely will host Mountain View Prep. So that's a huge one, and the loser will play at the winner of Chapman and Broome. That's a lot of discrepancy in between matchups, Sam.
Absolutely. Number one, you're talking about a venue change here, either playing in the friendly confines of Cunningham Stadium from the Bulldogs' perspective, or you're taking about a 90-minute trip up I-85 to the Spartanburg County District of Schools, where there's a big game tonight going on between Chapman and Broome. Neither team has had a particularly great season, but just the fact that if the Bulldogs were to lose tonight's game against the Crescent Tigers, they would have to make that long road trip. Definitely not something you necessarily want to do, but on the bright side, the pairing between Region 1 and 3A and Region 3 and 3A is a very favorable matchup for the top 3 teams in Region 1, being BHP, Pendleton, and Crescent. Obviously, that order dependent on the results tonight. Chapman and Broome, who will be the 3 and 4 seeds in Region 3, and even Union County, who will be the 5 seed in Region 3, much weaker opponents in terms of the entire landscape of upper state football in South Carolina High School League 3A play. So no matter what, I think both of these teams are going to be in pretty good shape for round 1, but you definitely want the easier path hosting that number 5 seed Union County.
It would mean a lot to host a playoff game here in Cunningham Stadium, especially in a season where the Bulldogs started off not so hot. Started off 1-3 and have rattled together a 4-1 record since, thanks to Coach Grayson Howell and his innovative offensive scheme. Of course, Jackson Allman, the starting quarterback to start the season, currently back at the helm of the offense, but missed a significant amount of time due to a shoulder injury that he suffered, which means starting linebacker Dax Allen had to come play, and he did a marvelous job filling in the stopgaps.
Yeah, it's really been a story of the season. I even, throughout my senior spotlight interview series with seniors throughout this season, they just commended Dax for the great job that he did in Jackson Allman's relief. They had full trust in him, and obviously they were able to win some games under Dax Allen, but now you have your starting quarterback back in Jackson Allman. We've started to see him stack together some good performances. Didn't necessarily get the result they wanted last week, but they did find some success stretching the ball down the field vertically. So Allman's return to the lineup and getting things in rhythm right before the playoffs is going to be huge tonight for Pendleton.
Absolutely. Let's take a look at some common opponents between the two teams tonight. So, both teams have played Walhalla, BHP, West Oak, and Chesney. They both defeated Walhalla pretty handily. They both defeated West Oak pretty handily. The comparison comes when you look at Chesney and you look at BHP. Obviously, BHP, the 1 seed in Region 1 in 3A. They're at Walhalla tonight, 9-0, number 23 in the state of South Carolina. They will likely win tonight. And the difference comes with Pendleton played BHP on the road, lost by 30 points, 52-22. Crescent lost 55-28 at home. So a similar margin, and you look at, okay, BHP went to Crescent, while Pendleton had to go to BHP. That's a very different atmosphere there as well. And the real kicker comes when Chesney. Obviously, Pendleton went to Chesney in the beginning of the season and lost in 35-21 in a game that was really, that they let get out of reach. Meanwhile, Crescent defeated Chesney 45-36. So those are the comparisons there. Sam, any thoughts on what those comparisons mean, what those common opponents really prepare both teams for tonight?
Yeah, so the first thing that those common opponents really allow for both teams is you get some good film on what, and some more familiarity on what your opposing team is going to do tonight between Pendleton and Crescent. But another thing that you get is, as I mentioned before, you just see that these teams are about as evenly matched up on paper as it gets at this level. And this game, honestly, is about as coin flip as it gets in high school football. When you just look at the statistical matchup, when you look at the historical data, I think this is going to be the type of football game that is not decided until late fourth quarter.
The 56 meeting all-time between the two programs. Pendleton leads the all-time series 33-22, with Crescent winning last year's matchup 14-7 at Crescent. So this matchup means so much to both teams. Both teams, that the offensive firepower is there. With Pendleton, of course, Jackson Allman at the helm, Bray Spear, Deshaun Jenkins. You got Mello Mattress, Ty Miller, Sam Jennings, many other, a very organized offense, well contributing from all different areas of the field. When you get to Crescent, you have 3 absolute star players. You have star quarterback Mason Evans, the junior. You have number 5, the running back Kevin Hatton. You have number 3, Elijah Acker. These 3 players, Sam, are unbelievable. Evans, 28 total touchdowns. Hatton, 12 touchdowns on the ground. And Elijah Acker, tell me about that guy. Wow, if you look at his stats, 37 catches, 953 yards, and 13 touchdowns. That's 26 yards of reception.
Yeah, this is an unbelievably explosive offense when you just look at stats. The thing that caught my eye the most was Mason Evans, 1,500 passing yards on the season, 17 touchdowns, only 7 interceptions through the air. But he also had 6.7 yards per carry, 107 carries for 712 yards, adding 11 touchdowns on the ground. That makes his total touchdowns, as you said, 28 on the season. So it's going to be interesting to see if Crescent has any packages that are some option looks between Mason Evans and running back Kevin Hatton, who is dynamic in his own right. 90 carries, 727 yards. And 12 touchdowns, good for 8.1 yards per carry. This Crescent offense seems like it's very balanced on paper, very explosive. So definitely something that the Bulldog defense will need to key in on heavily tonight.
No doubt about it. If you are waiting for high school football in the state of South Carolina, you've got it tonight. We just had the wonderful national anthem sponsored by Pendleton Historic Foundation. We have our captains on the field for Pendleton. It's number 2, Dax Allen. Number 5, Trent Garner. Number 9, Bray Spear. And number 64, Ethan Rexroth. Sam, you actually talked to Ethan Rexroth and Corday Chapman on this week's Senior Spotlight at halftime.
Yeah, it was an honor to speak to Ethan last week. We played that during the BHP game last week. Going to play it again tonight because Corday Chapman actually was our last Senior Spotlight interview. That was recorded last night. So looking forward for you listeners to hear from Corday for the first time this season. And I just want to thank each and every one of our seniors who have taken time out of their weeks throughout the season just to give us some content for the radio. So I hope that has been something that has been enjoyable for you listeners. I've definitely enjoyed getting to know the players beyond the football field, and I hope that has been the same experience for you all.
Both teams taking the field now, accompanied by their fans in their many Halloween costumes. The Pendleton Bulldogs have gold helmets, black jerseys, black pants with gold numbers and lettering, while the Crescent Tigers have black helmets, white jerseys, and black pants. Sam, your 3 keys to the game.
All right, Dave, well, it's Halloween night. I'm going to start off for the Bulldogs. You need to make things spooky for Crescent. We've seen a lot throughout the season that this Bulldog defense can just sort of stack turnovers against its opposing offenses. And when those turnovers come, they come in bunches. This is going to need to be a game for the Bulldogs where that is the case. Zy Collimore is a ball hawk in the backfield, in the defensive backfield. Jace Harrison-Whitner has some fumble recoveries and interceptions on the season. You're going to need to cause chaos on the defensive side of the football and create some short fields for the offense. Number 2, rise to the occasion. This game is for second place in the region, as we mentioned, to open the Guys Pizza pregame show, and it is for a host spot likely for the first 2 rounds of the South Carolina High School League 3A playoffs. So rise to the occasion is key number 2, and key number 3, leave it all out there. For these seniors, this is their last ever opportunity to play regular season high school football in the friendly confines of Cunningham Stadium. So I expect to see 110% effort on every single play for these Bulldog seniors and the Bulldog team in general here tonight.
Bulldogs led by Grayson Howell in his 5th season as Pendleton's head coach. And Crescent, Sheldon Evans is their headmaster, 8th season as Crescent head coach. 40-42 record for Evans, 24-27 record for Howell. That concludes the Guys Pizza pregame show. We are ready to go. The Tigers have won the kickoff and deferred to the second half, so they will kick. And the Bulldogs have their athletes back to receive. It's going to be a wonderful night. It might get a little spooky, as Sam said, but we thank you so much for listening on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio as we are underway. A little squib kick taken by Dax Allen himself. Allen will receive it around the 25, and he'll get all the way to the 40. So the Bulldogs and Jackson Allman have the first strike on offense tonight.
Yeah, definitely something that was strategic by the Crescent Tigers. That was a short kick by the place kicker, Brendan Glenn, who it actually looks like is wearing number 32 tonight. So I'm just going to quickly make note of that on my roster. But also, a lot of times when you see a short kick like that, you'll see the up man just kind of fair catch it, but not Dax Allen. We know what he can do with the ball in his hands. He gets about 10 yards after fielding the kickoff, so a great start at the 40-yard line for this Pendleton offense.
The Bulldogs in their first look out there in the pistol with Spear directly behind Allman and a bunch trips all the way to the left, no receivers to the right. Allman will fire to the bunch trips. It's caught by Mellow Mattress on a quick screen immediately. He'll only get a gain of about 1 before being tackled by a Tiger or 2.
We saw Pendleton really establish the screen game early in the game last week against the BHP Bears, able to accumulate about 70 yards worth of passing yards just on screens in the first half. Looks like they're trying to do the same thing here early against Crescent.
Trips right, spread out. Allman fires to Spear, who motions out of the backfield to the right side. Spear will get past the 50. Spear breaks a tackle. Spear inside the 45. Bray Spear shaking off Tigers like he's the king of the jungle.
Wow, sensational line there, David, by the way. Looks like the Bulldogs are trying to get the ball to their playmakers in space here tonight. I think that's a really good idea, as Crescent's front 7 has been absolutely fantastic stopping the run up the middle.
Pendleton with yet another different look, this time double. Spear motions down the backfield again. Allman fires deep. Allman way over the head of his intended receiver. That was, I believe, number 6, Mellow Mattress on the target. Way out of the way. No chance for either the DB or Mattress to catch that there.
Looked like it might have been a choice route for Mellow Mattress over here on the near side, and Mellow decided to break it off for a long curl, while it looked like Allman was trying to throw a go ball, but great coverage there by Elijah Acker.
Pistol now with Ty Miller in there as the fullback. He'll block for Spear, and Spear will get to around the opposing 39-yard line, so a good front burst on Spear there, able to truck forward for a couple of yards. Really enjoying how the Bulldogs are keeping the clock running, whether it's a quick screen or a run on the ground. But despite that one incomplete deep shot, they've really kept everything in their own hands, controlling what they can control.
Yeah, it feels like the Bulldogs are going to need to limit the possessions in this game with as explosive an offense as Crescent has. It's going to be interesting to see just how much time they can get off the clock in this first offensive series.
So a huge 3rd down and 4. They fake the carry to Spear, and they fire to a wide-open Sam Jennings in the flat, who drops it incomplete to Sam Jennings. Would have been a sure first down, as the entire Tigers defense bit on that fake to Spear, leaving a wide-open Sam Jennings in the flat for an RPO. But the Bulldogs, they're going to have to go for it here right now, Sam. Allman quick back to it, trips to his left, still in the pistol. One man behind trying to draw the Tigers off sides. He'll now look to his offensive sideline for the play call. He'll come up and adjust with the offensive line. They will still go for it. Coach Howell gambling early in a huge game for positional seeding. Allman back to pass, fires over the middle, incomplete, high, intended for Ty Miller, but a flag comes from the back judge all the way at the 10-yard line. Could be pass interference here with a little shove in the back there.
Yeah, I think number 17, Austin Whitcomb, the linebacker in zone coverage, might have gotten there just a little bit too early, and for the Bulldogs, that's certainly what they're looking for here, and it is going to be pass interference.
Wow, an absolute lifeline for the Bulldogs there on fourth down. Not only gives them a new set of chains, but moves them inside the Crescent 30. Talk about a miracle on the opening drive. Happy Halloween.
Yeah, going back to that third down play that was unfortunately dropped by Sam Jennings, looked like Coach Howell has saved a page of his playbook for a game like tonight. We haven't seen anything like that this season. Really nice play design. Unfortunately, didn't work.
Bunch trips, carry to Spear. Spear goes to the left. Spear cuts back up on the left hash. We'll get a couple on first down. The Bulldogs really throwing out many different formations to start on this first drive. They've got a tight bunch trips to the left, a wide trips to the right. They've been swinging Spear in and out of the backfield. They've gone doubles. They really want to confuse the Tigers, not giving them a chance to really digest anything that they've seen.
And I like what I've seen from Spear early, running patiently and finding some holes on this opening possession.
Second down and 7, trips to the right on a tight bunch. And they'll go with the same play. Spear will cut outside, back inside. Spear to the 14.
Yeah, that's another example of what I've been talking about. He was patient as he bounced it outside, then followed some blockers on the inside, and looked like he weaseled his way all the way forward for a first down, potentially. If not, he's just short.
He'll be just short. It'll be third and about a yard, as Allman will come out in empty. But they will move the chains actually now and will be first down to 10. So Allman will stay in empty. Ty Miller will block to the right side on a rocket screen from Mellow. Mattress won't really go anywhere, though, only a gain of about 2. So they've been going to Mattress and Spear a lot. And Spear specifically looks very rejuvenated. Usually the bell cow back, ready to do the bruising. Paired with the Deshaun Jenkins, the speedier option in the backfield. But Spear looks very healthy tonight. Very patient, as you mentioned, really getting a lot out of his strides.
Absolutely, and this is going to be play number 10 for the Bulldogs, who have already taken 3 minutes off the clock here in the first quarter.
So second down and 9. Allman in empty again, fakes it to Mattress, a wide open receiver in the end zone. That's Cahaly. The Tigers completely bit on the screen to Mattress. They got fooled almost immediately, and that's a fun Halloween party trick that Coach Drayson Howell and company can play on the first drive. An 11-play drive, taking 3 minutes and 10 seconds off of the clock, leading in a Cahaly touchdown pass from Jackson Allman. What a drive for the Bulldogs, Sam.
Yeah, Coach Howell showing off his offensive playbook, his deep bag of tricks here. Trick or treat, we got nothing but tricks here from Grayson Howell and the Bulldogs on that first drive. Love the utilization of Cahaly. We saw it a lot last year as the 5th receiver in 5 wide packages. Love the playmaking ability of Cahaly coming over to the offensive side of the ball. The Bulldogs striking first here at home on senior night.
What a drive. 11 plays, more than 3 minutes, and getting Cahaly involved. So the PAT was good, but now it will be moved back due to a false start, and it will be none other than the usual number 30, Brody Sprayberry, on to attempt the PAT. He nailed his first one, now 5 yards back. We'll see if he can do it again.
He's had some trouble this season. We'll see if he can make this one from further out.
And yes, he does. Almost blocked there. A pretty good rush from the Tigers. But Brody Sprayberry drills that one up the middle again to make it 7-0 officially. So a strike from Allman to a wide-open Cahaly on a play that totally made the defense bite on the screen. and ended with number 1 in the end zone for touchdown number 1 of the game. We will hear from our sponsors for the first time tonight, and we will be back for the second drive.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
Sprayberry on to kick now as the Bulldogs just finished a marvelous opening drive with almost perfect execution as Sprayberry will kick it away to the Crescent Tigers. He'll squib it as well, so both teams choosing to squib tonight. And the ball is almost picked up by a Bulldog as it was not fielded cleanly by Jace Devlin, one of the middlemen, the tight end and outside linebacker, the junior. But the Tigers will have the ball after a near scare there. And that leaves Mason Evans and company up there. As you mentioned, Sam, a very explosive offense. We'll see them for the first time tonight.
Yeah, like we mentioned in the open, Mason Evans, Kevin Hatton, and Elijah Acker, quarterback, running back, and receiver, the three-headed snake on offense for the Crescent Tigers. Pendleton's defense has its hands full here tonight at Cunningham Stadium.
Double set. Evans comes out in the pistol with Hatton behind him. They'll send Acker in motion, and they'll give it off to Hatton. Evans will take it himself, but both Hatton and Evans were stuffed there. Only will pick up about 1 on the QB keeper.
Thought we'd probably see some zone read looks from Evans. He comes in with 712 rushing yards, and they go to it on the first play of the game.
2nd down and 8. Still in the pistol, trips to the right. They'll motion Acker from right to left now. He'll stay in the backfield. Evans will just drop it off to Acker, and the Bulldogs will be able to make a tackle, but Acker's momentum will push him forward a little bit closer to the down marker. They'll be 3rd down and about 3. A nice quick play to get your best playmaker the ball in open space.
And a good job by quarterback Mason Evans just to scan the field, go through his reads, and hit the wide-open check down, get some nice yards for the Tigers' offense to set up a 3rd and manageable.
The Tigers very quick with their offense, similar to how the Bulldogs had their first opening drive. Doubles now. Evans will send Hunter Dale in motion, and he'll give it off to Kevin Hatton, but Hatton will be stopped short of the line to gain. It'll be 4th down and 2, and the Tigers most likely will have to punt as they aren't even on their own 40-yard line yet.
Yeah, certainly going to be interesting. The Bulldogs had 7 defensive players right on the line of scrimmage, and they're able to stuff the running back Hatton for no gain, and the punt team does trot out for the Tigers.
So what a huge stop for the Bulldogs. Not only is the clock running, playing to their spoiler advantage, but they stopped the Tigers on the opening drive of the game in what was a pretty fluid and coherent first drive from the Tigers. High snap to the punter, almost blocked nearly. Will be a hanging one, fair caught by Sam Jennings at around the 33-yard line, and the Bulldogs quickly have the ball back. We will hear from another one of our sponsors before the Bulldogs' second drive of the game.
Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun, jungle theme, and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care.
A chilly 53 degrees tonight as the Bulldogs already up 7-0 on the Crescent Tigers have their second drive of the game. Jackson Allman and Bray Spear in the backfield. Snap will go to Allman. He'll give it off to Spear. Spear will take it to the right side for a gain of about 2. So a huge stop there for the Bulldogs defense on the opening drive. And the Bulldogs now have a chance to do exactly what they did on that first drive. Slow, methodical, and efficient with their offense. Allman back out there again. Again, different looks here. Now they send Ty Miller in motion from right to left, and it'll be trips on the left side. And Allman will sprint out to the left and he'll fire to Sam Jennings in the flat, but a flag is thrown from the official near the center of the field.
It's going to be some sort of illegal block on the Bulldogs. Walker Dunlap, the left guard, ended up on top of defensive lineman number 20 for Crescent, Ethan Gracely. Saw the flag thrown under those two players, so this one's likely coming back, but I do like the play design by Coach Howell and the offensive staff there for the Bulldogs.
The sprint out passes with Allman have been successful at certain points this year due to his ability to really run outside of the pocket and throw on the run. But exactly as you said, Sam, it will move the Bulldogs back to a second down in 18 now. Allman fakes the give, incomplete, pass nearly intercepted into an unexpected defensive back who was way past. It was an overthrow on a little bit of an RPO, check down over the middle, and the far side corner almost picked it off, but the ball hit the ground.
And that was Nitarius Gear Harrison who almost came down with the pick. RPO look for Allman on that second down play. Had nothing there on the give to Spear, but also didn't really have anyone open down the field. Very fortunate that was not a catastrophe for the Bulldogs.
So they have trips bunch tight to the left. Looks like it'll probably be a check down of some sort. Allman drafts the back to pass. Won't be a check down. He wants it all, and he will not throw it. He'll end up just running, taking himself. Really wanted that deep ball, though. He'll take a gain of about a couple, and the Bulldogs will have to punt it away.
Yeah, it looked like he wanted to hit Mellow Mattress down the near sideline, but unfortunately, great coverage by Elijah Acker, the corner to the field. Does a really nice job going step for step with Mellow Mattress, and now the offense is, after a 13-yard touchdown by Zy Collmore on the opening possession, the offense is trading 3 and outs on drives 2 and 3 of the game.
The Acker brothers, Elijah and Amiri, doing a phenomenal job so far. The DBs and wide receivers doing a great job, both of those brothers. Locking them down there. It's a 4th and 13. The Bulldogs will have to punt it away, and as the snap goes to Sam Jennings, flag thrown by the near side official closest to our sideline.
It's an offside against Crescent, so that'll get the Bulldogs a little bit of their yardage back that they had lost and bring up a 4th down and 8 from the 34-yard line.
So Jennings will have a chance to punt it away. He's been pretty good in terms of punting all year for the Bulldogs. The do-it-all man for Pendleton. He'll roll out to the right, and he'll boot it away. It's a beautiful punt. Will land at the 35-yard line. It will be received, but Bulldogs quick on it. A great punt there from Jennings, rolling out to his right side and able to get a lot of the field back. So Amiri Acker, number 3, is the star defensive back. And Amiri Acker is the star receiver as well. 953 yards. 13 touchdowns, 26 yards per catch. Very excited to see him this season. It's going to be awesome to see this Tigers offense go out for their second drive after being stopped on a 3 and out on the first one. So 5:20 left in this first quarter. Evans will go to the empty. He'll motion in Elijah Acker, and they'll hand it off to Elijah Acker on the jet sweep, and he's got plenty of field ahead of him. He has easily crossed the opposing 45, and a quick change brings the Tigers into Bulldog territory. So both the Acker brothers heavy use tonight.
I think that was actually number 9, Nitarius Gear Harrison, coming over from the near sideline in motion. Those jerseys are unbelievably difficult to read.
Number 9, yeah, I thought it was number 4. But yes, that was Nitarius Gear Harrison, the senior wide receiver and cornerback. We've seen him on defense as well with that near interception. So many versatile skill players for these Tigers. But ball is out as Evans snaps it. Ball will get away. The Bulldogs may be on top of it. They think that they have it. The Tigers had the first chance to get on it. We're not able to get there, but the official does say that the Tigers did recover the football.
And that ball was on the grass for a long time. A botched little pop pass between the quarterback and one of his playmakers. And then even the first Tiger to try to fall on the football was unable to. Really fortunate situation for Crescent. That could have been a disaster and could have given the Bulldogs the ball in Crescent territory. But for now, it's just going to be a big loss and bring up second down and a mile.
2nd and 20. Mason Evans back there after the bad snap. There was a bad snap on the punt, too, as well. He'll drop back to pass. Flags fly from the officials. And Dax Allen will make a tackle in open space on number 15, Noah Brawner. But that one most likely coming back as well seemed to be a flag from the offensive line of the Tigers.
And regardless, we continue to see this Crescent offensive approach just to get the ball to their playmakers that have speed and space. That's really been a consistent theme. They're not really trying to run the ball between the tackles as much. They have had a little bit of success when they've gotten out to the perimeter. That's going to be a back-breaking flag against Crescent, as they would have gained about 20 yards on the play, but now going to have to back up even further.
Not too many flags in this first quarter, but when they have come, they have been detrimental to both sides. Obviously, that one on the Tigers' defense, the first drive on fourth down, that gave the Bulldogs another life so that they could score. And this one right here, and what you got a lot back from that 2nd and 20, now becomes a 2nd and 25. Empty set, Mason Evans. Again, they'll send a playmaker in motion. They'll give it, I believe, that is number 4. Wow, the ball came out on the jet sweep. I believe it was number 4, Hunter Dale. And that one came out, and that bounced. That was number 3, Amiri Acker. Wow, so these jersey numbers are confusing. Bear with us, folks, as the yellow lettering on the white jersey is hard to read, but there was a jet sweep to Amiri Acker coming right to left, and the ball popped out right at the end and landed in the hand of a Bulldog. That's a turnover. The Bulldogs have the ball now. 4 minutes and 17 seconds left to go in the first, and what an entertaining quarter of football it has been already so far. A fumble, like right at the end from a big hit, I believe, delivered by Dax Allen, ends up in the hands of the Bulldogs. They have the ball now, Sam.
Yeah, I couldn't tell who it was that recovered the fumble in all the mess there, but I had already written down a fumble recovered by the Bulldogs on my drive recap because I thought they had recovered the previous one, and then after a penalty just one play later, the Bulldogs do recover a fumble, and now they have it at the 50-yard line.
The turnover spirits are with the Bulldogs this Halloween night. Allman now hands it off to Spear. Spear on first down will be able to get a good seam coming left to right, a lot of steam behind that guy. He'll pick up 8 yards.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is, but something's different about Bray Spear tonight. I don't know if it's just that it's sunk into him that it's his last regular season game in Cunningham Stadium. A lot on the line here tonight. But this is undoubtedly his best first quarter of the season. Hopefully he's able to stack that with 3 good quarters following.
Looking so healthy. Gets another carry there. Almost taken down for a loss, able to dodge a couple of Tiger defenders and nearly gets the first down there. He'll be just shy. It'll be a 3rd down and inches, unless they give it to him here, which they won't.
Depend on the spot.
Depending on the spot.
40.
The officials conferencing. They'll place the ball just shy of the 40, so it'll be a 3rd down and inches on the left hash.
Man, that's close. The tip of the football is touching the 40, and they will give the Bulldogs the first down.
Wow, what a ruling there. And another great carry from Spear to avoid many Tigers in the backfield to pick up a first down. That's like one of the most entertaining 2-yard runs you'll ever see. First down again. Carry goes to Deshaun Jenkins this time. He'll spell Spear, and he goes nowhere. Tried to go on the outside, moving from the left side of Allman to the right. He'll lose 2 yards.
A nice job by Hunter Dale, linebacker for Crescent, just shooting the gap and getting outside to cut the perimeter off for Deshaun Jenkins, who likes to bounce it out to the edge on his frequent runs. That one goes for a loss of 2.
Bulldogs taking their time as Allman gets the signal from Coach Howell and company. This offense has just looked so smooth, and Spear has looked very healthy tonight. Spear getting a break now as Jenkins stays in for the 2nd consecutive play. Allman in the gun. 2 receivers and Ty Mitchell to his right, 1 to his left in one-on-one coverage. That's Mellow Mattress. Flag comes from the back judge. That looks like it'll probably be a delay of game.
Should be the call here. The Bulldogs definitely took a lot of time trying to get that play in. Probably going to cost them 5 yards here.
Bulldogs will come over and conference. It'll be a charged timeout for the Bulldogs instead of that penalty. So we will hear from another one of our sponsors as the Bulldogs could talk it over in the huddle.
Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin' Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite baths in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. So 2nd down and 12 with the Bulldogs back out here. You're listening to Pendleton Bulldog Football on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. David Poley and Sam Gaudreau on the call. Bulldogs up 7-0 at Cunningham Stadium. 2 minutes and 13 seconds left to go in this first quarter of action. The Bulldogs driving after picking up a fumble from Amiri Akhter, the star receiver for the Tigers on last drive. On 2nd down, it'll be a handoff to Deshaun Jenkins. Jenkins will get past the 40. It'll go from 2nd and 12 to 3rd and 7. Great carry there by Deshaun Jenkins. His best so far in the game that's kind of been dominated by the other running back, Bray Spear.
Another good play designed by Grayson Howell, faking the jet sweep from right to left with Sam Jennings, who we saw last week was just an absolute Swiss Army knife for this Pendleton Bulldog team. They use his gravity to open up a rushing lane between the tackles for Jenkins and make this 3rd down much more manageable.
3rd down and 7. The Bulldogs not in field goal range, but likely in 4th down range if they're able to pick up a chunk here. Allman back to pass. Allman will fire deep over the middle. Pass is incomplete. That was intended for number 21, Mikey Harrison, I believe. Who's that, Sam?
I think that's number 29, Landon Moody.
Wow, Landon Moody makes sense. The shifty junior receiver was on a post route there, defended, and incomplete. It missed both him and the defender's hands there. Not a bad throw, but neither one just able to pick up there. So Moody was the target there on the incomplete pass, and it's 4th down and 7. Allman and the offense stay out there. Inside the Tigers' 40, they're going to go for it. Allman gives off the screen to Jenkins. Jenkins has some blockers. Jenkins just short. 3 yards short of the line to gain. Allman did a great job of waiting for all the defensive linemen to really come to him, but the safety on the far side made a fantastic tackle to keep the Bulldogs from getting the 1st down. It'll be a turnover on downs. The Tigers have the football back.
Yeah, that was Nitarius Gear Harrison getting around the 2 blockers that Deshaun Jenkins had in front of him and tackled Deshaun Jenkins just a few yards shy of the line to gain. So now taking over are the Crescent Tigers at their own 34-yard line.
So this Bulldogs defense has been very good so far against a usually electric Tigers offense. It'll be a handoff, faked, and instead taken by Mason Evans. The handoff faked to Hatton. Evans takes it himself. Evans past the 50. Evans to the 45. Mason Evans does a great job of going up the middle and then out to his right for a big gain.
Yeah, now we see how Mason Evans has 712 rushing yards on the season, does not run like a quarterback at all, and has some absolute wheels.
Evans put his head down and was ready to work. Took a couple Bulldogs to get him down at about the 45-yard line. There is an injured player down, so we will hear from another one of our sponsors while that is attended to on the field. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. Enjoy elevated living at Sunrise in Pendleton, just 2 miles from Pendleton High School, starting in the mid-300s. Customize versatile 1- and 2-story home plans with luxury design selections in our 3,900 square foot design studio. The pool amenity opens next year, and there will be natural trails winding throughout towering hardwoods. Sunrise encompasses convenience and lifestyle in a convenient location. Visit EmpireHomes.com to discover elevated living in the upstate. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they were recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
Back with you after that extended injury timeout. It was number 12 for Pendleton, Q. Dean, who had to be helped off the field. Walked off in his own power, though. Usually smooth first quarter so far, interrupted by that injury timeout. Obviously, hope Dean is okay. But with 1:10 left to go, the clock will start running again, and the Tigers have the ball 1st and 10 on the Pendleton 46 after a huge run from Mason Evans.
Yeah, it looks like the Tigers are looking to get Evans' legs established on this drive. This is their first time crossing midfield. The Bulldogs have their hands full, as have many teams throughout this season when facing this Crescent Tigers offense.
Officials deliberating as the Tigers get a sub in on the offensive line. Clock started and has now been stopped again. Officials looking for a clock readjustment to get the clock back to where it is supposed to be, as it never should have started running in the first place, they're saying. Evans and Hatton wait in the backfield. Looks to be a double set, tighter to the right side as the Tigers have the ball all the way planted on the right hash. Clock starts again at 1:08. It will run. Evans will pitch it out on the triple option look. That is number 3, Amiri Acker. Acker breaks tackles, almost tackled for major loss. Acker will reverse entire field, but his forward progress was stopped.
I was about to say.
Side. Wow, what a play. It'll be a huge loss for the Tigers, but they never really fully got him down. If they didn't, he had a lot of space to the other side. That'll be a loss of a couple for sure.
Not sure how it wasn't even more than they ended up ruling it to be. I think they ruled it a loss of about 4 or 5. I think it could have been 10 or 15, to be honest, but definitely we'll take it.
So it'll be 2nd down. Evans will drop back to pass. Evans will take off himself. Flag thrown, but Evans will only pick up a couple. He's still shy of the 50 after that big play from Acker. Backed the Tigers all the way back up.
Yeah, I think you got to consider declining this one if you're Coach Howell, if this ends up being against the Tigers.
15.9 seconds left to go. Clock is stopped due to the penalty. So there'll be most likely one more play left to go in this first quarter with the ball in the hands of the Tigers. Looks like the Tigers are backing up. So Coach Howell accepts the call, looking for better field position for the remainder of this drive. Your thoughts, Sam?
Yeah, I mean, when you're facing an explosive offense like this, I'm never a huge fan of getting the offense an extra down, it would have been a net difference of about 12 yards on the play. It would have been a gain of 2 if it stood. Going to be a setback of 10 yards, but I trust the head man.
That being said, it is 2nd down and 26. Pass, quick, complete, fired to Amiri Acker. He'll get to the 48 or 49-yard line in his own territory, and that will end the first quarter. So they did get a lot back there, but the Bulldogs still have a 3rd down and long on defense to stop the Tigers when we come back for the second quarter of Pendleton Bulldogs football on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio.
Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun, jungle theme, and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin' Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite baths in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Here for the second quarter of football, the Bulldogs at home, Cunningham Stadium, up 7-0 on the visiting Crescent Tigers in a matchup for the 2 seed in Region Number 1 in 3A. David Poley, Sam Gaudreau here for you as the teams switch sides, and the Tigers have a 3rd down and 15 from their own 49. Mason Evans drops back to pass. Evans has nowhere to go, goes over the middle, pass is picked off. That's number 20. That is Bradley Runyon, the sophomore linebacker who's been all over the place in big spots for the Bulldogs this year. Way to step up, Bradley Runyon.
Bradley Runyon has stepped up massively this season defensively for the Bulldogs. His breakout game came in the mid-season. I'm trying to remember the opponent. It was Woodmont. He had a turnover forced and 2 PBUs, as well as a forced fumble in that game, and he is continuing to make his presence known. A kid that has a really bright future in this program. You don't see many guys starting at linebacker as sophomores under Coach Howell. Runyon is one of the few that can handle the responsibilities that come with that. What a play by Bradley Runyon to set the Bulldogs up with great field position.
So Runyon forces Evans' 8th interception on the year, and the Bulldogs and Jackson Allman on offense will take over at their own 39. Allman on the counter, fakes it to Spear, throws over the middle, and Allman gives it right back, throws an interception. That is intercepted and will go all the way back for a pick 6 for the Tigers. Hard to see who that DB is, but there is a flag back.
I think the flag is going to be during the return.
Yes, it looks like it'll be a legal block in the back or something like that. But Allman gives it right back to the Tigers after the interception, so it won't be a touchdown most likely on the pick 6. That will be called back, but it is an interception, so Allman gives it right back after Runyon forced the interception from Evans. Really unfortunate turn of events. Hate to see that.
Yeah, just a really ill-advised throw there by Allman. Looked like zone coverage by the Tigers and threw it in harm's way, and a safety able to jump the route and make the interception and take it the distance. Thankfully, 7 points will not go on the board for the Tigers because during the return there was an illegal block in the back. Nonetheless, not what you want out of Jackson Allman. The defense gets a huge turnover, and unfortunately the offense giving it right back.
So the Tigers get a little bit of help from their defense. They get a quick second chance after a short breather, and the Pendleton Bulldogs defense has to come back out on the field and hope that they can do it again. It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Tigers on their own 43. Huge interception there for the Tigers defense. Gives Mason Evans and company a shot at redemption. Another man comes in motion. They fake the handoff to Haddon. Evans going to keep it himself, blown up in the backfield. Tried a little bit of a follow there. Fake the handoff to Haddon. Haddon was going to lead block for Evans, but the defense snuffed that out immediately.
Yeah, Trent Garner and Dax Allen, the tandem, in on the stop there, and they are fired up about it, doing a really nice job of eye discipline, keeping your eye on the player that actually has the football with all these fakes and motions. You can tell Trent Garner and Dax Allen are two seniors who are leaving it all on the field tonight for the Bulldogs.
And some motion on the offense. A legal motion it will be as the officials throw the flag. They signal for a legal motion, and that's another 5 yards back for the Tigers. So it'll be 2nd down and 17 instead. A lot of motion in this Tigers offense. Always trying to get playmakers in space. They run a lot of guys on the jet. Amiri Acker, Nitarius Gear-Harrison. A lot of explosive athletes there. Now on 2nd down and 17, it'll be Evans in the empty. Evans will fire short. Pass is caught on the far sideline on a little bit of a hitch. I believe that is number 9, Nitarius Gear-Harrison. He's been involved all day, and he'll be able to pick up a pretty good gain after the Bulldogs cannot tackle him super well. It'll be a 3rd down and 8 now. So great job by Gear-Harrison getting out on the edge, getting big-time yards after contact.
Yeah, once again, the Tigers getting it to a playmaker in space there.
Motion again. Evans back to pass. Evans looks over the middle. Evans will just drop it off short. Again, that's Gear-Harrison. Gear-Harrison will get to the 50, but not enough for the 1st down. It'll be 4th down and 3, right on the 50-yard line. The Tigers have a big choice to do right here, and it looks like they will punt the ball. The punt unit coming on, or at least a lot of substitutes. It looks like that they will send the punt unit on. So instead of opting to go for it on the 50 on a 4th down and 3, head coach for Crescent, Sheldon Evans, the veteran head coach in his 8th season, will choose to punt it, play the field position game, down only 7 points. Bulldogs will take a timeout, actually. So now the Tigers have a chance to think it over. Will they stay with punt, or will they go for it on 4th down? We will find out after this break and hear it from another one of our sponsors.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com.
So the Bulldogs punt return unit coming back out on the field first, as will the punt unit for the Tigers. So with 10 minutes and 5 seconds left to go in this first half, the Tigers will punt it away on 4th and 3 on the 50-yard line. Interesting move here, Sam.
Yeah, and if they actually punt, it'll be the second 3-and-out forced by the Pendleton defense.
Low snap on the ground. Ball is out at the end. It's a crazy play right here. Flags come out. It will not be the 1st down, most likely. They did get the 1st down, the person who recovered the fumble, the Tiger that did. So it was a bad snap, low to the ground, below the punter. He dropped it. He fumbled it. And a Tiger picked it up and got the 1st down to the left side. But there is a flag, and the punter may have been down in the first place. Just a wild play that epitomizes South Carolina high school football.
Yeah, and Coach Howell is standing on the 48-yard line, and he's very angry at the officials, as I am, as the punter was clearly down when he fumbled the football, picked it up on both knees, and then got up. Not sure how every single official saw that. Thankfully for the Bulldogs, it should stand, but Crescent thinking the flag is going to be on Pendleton. This is an absolute mess, and I honestly have no idea how this is going to end.
Just a wild scene of events there. I was so confused in the high-energy play that I kind of lost exactly what was going on. I got it pretty wild there. So flag down at the Crescent 46. The Bulldogs' defense is still out there. It looks like the punt unit will come on again for the Tigers, and they will just be moved all the way back. So the ball is placed on the 36 for the Tigers, and we're going to do this all again.
And Coach Howell is all the way up to the near hash looking for an explanation.
He's borderline on the Bulldog at midfield.
Absolutely. He thinks the punter was down, and he has a great argument for that.
Coach Howell has to be talked away at an absolute wild turn of events. But it's 4th down and 17. The Tigers will get a chance to punt it away. Sam Jennings back deep to receive. So what would have been a huge field position change for the Tigers, nullified by a penalty on a missed down man call from the punter, most likely. Punt goes to the left side and is kind of shanked by the Tiger punter. Jennings never even gets his hand off. It goes out of bounds at around the 40-yard line, and another flag comes out at the 35-yard line. Can't catch a break here.
And it's against the Tigers again, holding against the Tigers. So Coach Howell has a decision to make. I'd honestly make him punt it again, because for punters in high school football, that was a pretty good punt. Not anything spectacular like we're used to seeing in the pros or anything like that, but still a net 26-yard punt there for Crescent. Would like to maybe see the Bulldogs make them kick it again.
And they will. The Bulldogs will do exactly that. So the ball will be moved back from the 36, or will it? Officials still conferencing. A lot of flags here after I said that there weren't a lot in the first half. That's on me, Sam.
I'm not even sure the officials know what's going on anymore.
All 4 of them now separating after conferencing. It'll be a hold once again. But all the officials...
I think they're going to add the 10 yards from the holding to the end of the kick. So that should move the ball from the 39 to the 49. And now Sheldon Evans, head coach at Crescent, is not too happy with the white hat official.
Have you ever seen 10 yards added to field position after the kick?
I have not.
I mean, I've seen that on PATs if there's a flag and you can take it to the kickoff or something like that. But I've never seen it on a punt before.
The chain crew has no idea what's going on either. It is going to be first down for the Bulldogs from their own 49 after all that.
So the Bulldogs, I guess, get a free 10 yards there instead of having the Tigers punt it again, and Jackson Allman, after the interception, now gets the ball with very advantageous field position, and Deshaun Jenkins joins him in the backfield. Officials still conferencing, but the Bulldogs will have the football on the 49-yard line, but head coach for Crescent, Sheldon Evans, still out there screaming just as Coach Howell was a moment ago. 9 minutes and 43 seconds left to go in this first half. It's only been about 30 seconds off the clock in game time, but it's felt like 10 minutes of real time.
Yeah, and it surely has. And if you're just joining us and are wondering, beyond all the craziness that's going on, the Bulldogs do have a 7-0 lead. So that is the most helpful information here. Now I think Sheldon Evans actually has an argument in that you can't necessarily just add 10 yards to the end of the kick for the holding penalty. So,
and now the chain gang is moving again. The first down marker is going back to the 36 of the Tigers, and the officials are still conferencing. And Sam, I've never seen anything like this in my life.
This is unbelievable.
This is unbelievable. The officials are spaced out. The Bulldog offense is not budging. Head coach Sheldon Evans is talking to 2 referees. Now the chain man who went back to the 36, he's coming back to the 50. Everybody's all over the place, and this is absolute beautiful. This is Halloween night. This is homecoming. This is the game for the 2 seed in 3A.
Man, with these officials, you might think that they're possessed by people that have never watched football before.
Oh, that's my worst nightmare. That's even scarier than a ghost. No football. And now the chain guy's going back again. He's going back again. This is unbelievable. Fans, we thank you so much for bearing with us here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. This is Pendleton Bulldogs football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse. And tonight, maybe even brought to you by the spirits of the football gods trying to give us a laugh. Wow. What a time Nobody knows who's going to stay put. Nobody knows what exactly is going on here. The Bulldogs offense not budging. Jackson Arnold with his hands on his hips. The official, now another one goes over to talk to head coach Sheldon Evans. He's giving him an earful over there. This all follows a wild play, if you're just joining us, where it was a punt from the Tigers. The snap was low, and the punter, when he picked it up, both of his knees were on the ground, but he fumbled. They ruled it a fumble, that he was not down when he was, and a Tiger took it and got the first down, but then there was a flag, so that got moved back. Then there was another flag, so the punt was moved back again, and then there was another flag, but the ball was already punted away and out of bounds, and now the Bulldogs have the ball, and Jackson Allman will snap it and give it to Deshaun Jenkins, who crosses the 35, Deshaun Jenkins to the 31, and we're back in play, and Deshaun Jenkins just ripped a 20-yard rush to get us out of whatever vortex that we were just in.
One of his better runs of the season, got out to the outside on the left side and used that speed to just tiptoe down the sideline. I thought he would have stepped out of bounds much earlier, and now that one's going to come back with a hold as well.
Penalty after penalty after conference after conference. You can see some Bulldogs players just jumping up and down, really trying to get active, as this kind of takes a lot of the adrenaline out of their system, maybe, with this dead spot. So it'll go all the way back to the line of scrimmage. Down marker still at the Pendleton 49, and they'll get moved back a couple. Ball will now be placed at the Pendleton 39. So the Bulldogs will start the drive 1st and 20 instead of 1st and 10, but they do have the ball, Sam. They do have the ball. After 10 yards was granted to them in the field position after the punt, now they just gave those 10 yards back. They get the ball at their own 42. So
we're 51 minutes into this game, and we have only played 14 and a half minutes of football.
Again, that's on me. The announcer's jinx on Halloween night for saying that this game was moving smoothly. Allman back to pass. Allman will scramble out. Allman flushed out to his left and will throw it away as Jennings was in the area. So Allman flushed out, had to just throw that one away. It is 2nd down and 20. Smart move by Allman, getting rid of the ball there instead of taking the sack. We're trying to play hero ball.
Yeah, and Allman was a little bit slow to abandon the pocket and roll out to his left there. Thought he could have maybe made a play down the field if he would have gotten out of there a little quicker, but great decision to throw the football away and bring up a 2nd and long.
So Jenkins still the running back in. We haven't seen Bray Spear after Jenkins subbed in for him. So they gave Spear a lot of time on the first drive and second drive. He looked amazing. And now Jenkins has looked good at times too, but his big play was thrown back. Screen caught, but blown up completely, not fooled on the defense was number 17, PJ DeVoe. Number 17, Austin Whitcomb, the linebacker, able to come in there for that tackle, blows that up, and it'll be 3rd down and a mile for the Bulldogs.
A lot of sloppy football to open this second quarter of action on both sides.
No doubt about it. Coach Howell will make some substitutions. Jackson Allman will get the signal. He'll look empty set, but with Jennings and Miller acting as H-backs, both off the line. They'll send Miller in motion to the right side. Miller will run a route. They'll throw a screen backside to Mellow Mattress on a rocket. Mattress has space. Mattress will get across the 50. Mattress just completely changed the tone of that drive, getting the Bulldogs into plus territory. An excellent play call there by the offensive staff.
And Mellow Mattress able to show off his own burst of speed on the near sideline. Unfortunately, not quite enough for Coach Howell to consider going for it, but another good job by the Pendleton offense, given the circumstances and the down and distance, just to get a lot of that yardage back, and hopefully Sam Jennings can flip the field here with a punt.
So we're under 8 minutes to play now. It's 4th down and 8. Sam Jennings will punt it away for the Bulldogs. Calls for it, gets it clean, rolls to his right. He'll just take off. Plainly, Jennings is going to take off. Jennings has enough for the 1st down. Jennings to the 35. Sam Jennings with an absolute hero play, rolling out to his right and taking the gamble, picks up the 1st down, shedding a tackle along the way to do it.
And those are the types of things that you can trust your punter to do when your punter is also your punt returner and your slot receiver. You don't really see that trifecta combination very much across any level of football. But Sam Jennings is the type of athlete that can provide all three of those things. And what looked like it was a punt-run option is read effectively by Jennings, and he just grits his way for the first down to give the Bulldogs a fresh set of chains in Tiger territory.
And you know what, Sam? They got another year of him, too, next year. And, oh, boy, is that going to be exciting. Jackson Allman now will give it to Bray Spear, who's back in the game. Bray Spear on a little halfback swing route will get inside the 35 before being tackled by a host of Tigers. It's good to see Spear back out there. He's looked very healthy, very smooth when he was given the ball in the first quarter.
Spear got up for a moment and then goes back down at the 25-yard line.
Just when we say that, Spear goes down with an injury at the 25, so we will take a break here from some of our sponsors while that is attended to.
Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
Back with you as Spear easily off the field. Looks to be a little bit of a cramp there. It'll be 2nd down and 7. Bulldogs have the football. After a wild sequence event a couple of minutes ago, we're back to organized football, I think. I've been jinxing everything tonight, but 7 minutes to go on the clock. Deshaun Jenkins will motion on the swing to the backfield. Jackson Allman will fire deep. Allman has a wide-open receiver. Allman has Jennings for a touchdown up the seam. They do it again. They fake the screen, and they go over the top. The Bulldogs go up 2 scores to none. It's 13-0 with under 7 to play. Allman fires an absolute rainbow, caught perfectly in the basket by Sam Jennings for 6.
And what a drive by Sam Jennings. He's able to extend the drive on a 4th down and 8 from Bulldog territory by keeping it himself on a fake punt rush by the punter. And then just 2 plays later, hauls in a 33-yard receiving touchdown, a great ball thrown by Jackson Allman after the fake screen. And now Sprayberry's extra point makes it a 14-0 Bulldog lead.
And what a first half for this Bulldog offense so far, especially with the screens. That screen earlier on the drive, when it was a 3rd down and 20+, they went backside to Mellow Mattress. Mattress got them into plus territory. That gave them a 4th down and 8, which Jennings has had enough space to take it himself and pick up the 8 yards for the first down, and then Jennings is the one who ends up with the ball in his hands in the end zone. So a great drive for the screens. Obviously, the first touchdown on a screen as well. That little fake to Mattress over the top to a wide-open Zy Collymore. The offensive play calling has been phenomenal, and Sam Jennings, a huge part of that.
Yeah, absolutely. I said it after his fake punt in which he ran for the first down. Really, last week against BHP, we saw Jennings just is the ultimate Swiss Army knife for this Pendleton Bulldogs team. He contributes in special teams on both sides of the football. He's emerged as a great wide receiver this season out of the slot position, really excels on those RPO bubble routes, and has really also emerged over the past couple weeks as a deep threat as well.
Jennings has blazing speed, all 5'8", 160 pounds of number 4, coming to a stadium near you, hopefully in the 3A playoffs. But the Bulldogs hoping to keep the games with Sam Jennings here for the first 2 weeks. If they're able to host after a win tonight and win first round, we'll host the first 2. So squib kick there from Sprayberry goes out of bounds inside the 30, so that'll be a penalty, and the Tigers will start it off with very good field position on this drive with under 7 minutes to play, and a flag comes flying in. It looks like it'll be some sort of unnecessary roughness or unsportsmanlike conduct back near the 30.
I think that was just one of the officials providing a flag to an official who didn't have one as to where the kick went out of bounds, if I'm not mistaken. I didn't see any Bulldogs over there, so I'm not sure what would have warranted an additional flag, but we will have to see, as these officials have loved to create their own rules tonight so far.
I believe you're right, Sam. At least I'm hoping that you are, that was just the flag for the kick out of bounds. And that, I believe it was. So the Tigers will have the ball 1st and 10 from their own 39-yard line to start, and they need to get something going. Quarterback Mason Evans really hasn't been himself so far tonight as the Tigers yet to get on the board. Evans has had some big plays rushing, but that interception that he threw to Bradley Runyon was detrimental and a total drive killer when they had the ball in plus territory.
I think that's a credit to this Bulldog defense. Obviously have done their homework on film and has really dialed up a good defensive game plan to stop this Crescent offense.
15, Noah Bronner comes in motion, but Evans will keep it himself. He'll get about 2 on the play. The big quarterback trying to engineer the offense through his own doing to get on the board in this first half.
Evans has done just that throughout the season for the Tigers. Bulldog defense has done a nice job keeping him at bay, both in the passing game and on the ground with his legs so far.
Another man goes in motion, and they will give it to him. That is number 9, Nitirius Gear Harrison. He'll take it all the way out to the wide side on the right. Flag comes in at the end of the play. I believe he picked up the first down, but a flag comes in. Looks like it'll be unsportsmanlike conduct. Could be on Gear Harrison.
I think it's going to be a horse collar tackle against
Unsure. The Bulldogs. It will be horse collar tackle on the Bulldogs. So Gear Harrison ripped down by his collar, and you don't see a horse collar tackle called very often, even with high tackles in high school football. But that will be huge for the Tigers and move them forward even more. They'll take the ball inside the 35 of the Bulldogs. It'll be 1st and 10 on the Bulldogs' 33. Wow. So a huge change in field position there after that penalty tacked on to Gear Harrison's run. Evans will hand it off to Hatton, the first time we've heard from Hatton in a while. Hatton will get a pretty good rushing gain there on 1st down for about 5 or 6 yards.
Crescent's been pretty creative in its offensive scheme throughout the night. Nothing creative about that, just simple. Give it to number 5, and he goes right up the middle for a really nice gain on 1st down.
Kevin Hatton, 8.1 yards per carry on the season, 12 touchdowns. Have yet to call his name a bunch this game, but he does a great job on 1st down. They are giving the offense a lot to work with. Low snap there. Evans, his knee was on the ground when he caught the snap. So that'll be all the way back. Any good graces that they just got from that 1st down rush from Hatton go away. It's back to being a 3rd down and 9 as Hatton's knee was on the ground. The Tigers have had multiple troubles with the snap tonight on both special teams and on offense. Snaps have been both high and low, costing the Tigers.
Yeah, that's a really good break for the Bulldogs defense, who will be credited with the team tackle for loss, when in actuality they didn't actually have to do anything there, as the errant snap came with Mason Evans' knee being on the ground.
Bulldogs send pressure on 3rd down. Pass goes complete across the middle, but short of the line to gain. That was Garrett Pruitt, the senior wide receiver, on the catch. He'll be about 1.5 yards short, which means it will be a pivotal 4th down for Mason Evans and the Crescent Tiger offense. The Bulldog defense needs to put everything together here to hold their first half shutout hopes. Bulldogs defense sending many to the line. Evans will keep it himself. Evans will bounce it outside, and Evans will pick up the 1st down, shedding some tackles. Really athletic play there by Mason Evans, showing that no one was going to keep him from that 1st down.
It's a really gritty run there by Evans. Almost Haynes King-esque from Georgia Tech. Just was not going to be denied at all. Nothing fancy about the play call, just a matter of his will against the Bulldogs defense, and he comes away victorious on that rep.
So 1st down and 10 from the 19. They'll hand it off to Hatton. Hatton will get about 5, going straight up the middle. Like you said, when they give it to Hatton, nothing fancy, just up the middle, let number 5 work.
That's exactly what he's done twice on this drive, both coming for 5 or more yards. Looks like he got right at 5 on that one, had 6 yards on his first rush of the drive.
Jumbo formation. Everybody tight. They'll hand it off to Hatton again. Hatton will get some blockers. Hatton space to the outside. Hatton will get to the 2-yard line, picks up the first down, but tackled short of a touchdown. Hatton does a great job of being patient, following blockers there, and now the Tigers are on the doorsteps of their first touchdown tonight. Evans and company quick back to the line, staying in that tight jumbo formation. Have a hunch here that Evans keeps it himself, tries to get into the end zone. He'll do exactly that. And the Tigers get on the board thanks to a 2-yard quarterback blast from Mason Evans. And he just played Superman on that drive. It's not Halloween. He's done that all year. Into the end zone is Mason Evans to make it 14-6. And the Tigers cut the lead in half, pending the extra point.
7-play drive that eclipsed 61 yards, starting at the 39, capped off by a 2-yard rushing touchdown by the quarterback Mason Evans to make this a 14-7 game.
PAT is good, and Mason Evans does what he needed to do after a wild series of events where there was a punt, a flag, dispute about field positioning. Bulldogs got the ball, they gave it away, and the Tigers put together an unbelievable drive, amassing more than 60 yards with over 8 plays, putting the ball into the end zone, and that's exactly what they needed before halftime.
It is, and especially with Crescent getting the football out of the halftime break, just a crucial point in the football game for them to get on the board. But that does leave Pendleton with 3 minutes and 8 seconds and 1 timeout at their disposal to respond and hopefully make this a 2-score game before half.
With 3 minutes and 8 seconds, that's enough time to do something offensively. But with the lead, do you think that the Bulldogs play it conservative, or do they go aggressive, knowing that the Tigers get the ball out of halftime?
I think that if this was a 2-touchdown lead, you go conservative. But I think only up a score, and knowing Crescent is going to get the football to start the third quarter, I think you've got to be a little bit aggressive here.
That being said, I think you've got to be really hopeful about how your defense has looked in the first half, right?
Absolutely, but with just looking at the stat sheet from the Crescent Tigers offense, you got to think that they're due for some explosive plays for sure.
No doubt about that. Calhoun Mize will return the kick after it's short to about the 25. He'll get past the 30, and it'll be 2 minutes and 58 seconds when the Bulldogs start the ball on this last real drive of the second half in their possession. Like you said, Sam, a choice to be made here in between conservatism and aggressiveness. The Bulldogs walking that thin line. They have the ball on their own 31 to start it off, and I think that Coach Howell has a lot up his sleeve for these late half scenarios. It's going to be a good old-fashioned 4-minute drill.
And Brace Spear's been good enough to where you can start this drive with a give to him.
And they do exactly that. Spear able to get to the second level. Spear breaks tackles. Spear to the 42. He'll have enough for the first down, most likely. And they will move the chain. Spear does a great job, just like you said, Sam. Hey, I've been jinxing everything tonight. You've got it all covered.
I'm 1 for 1, so we'll save that credit for later. I appreciate it, though.
Double set pistol, sending Spear out to the right. Allman will fire deep. Allman fires incomplete over the head of Mellow Mattress past the 30-yard line.
And that's the kind of play that I just don't really understand why you're going for so much, because with that football and that pass falling incomplete, now you stop the clock and you're facing a 2nd and 10, whereas Brace Spear, albeit you're probably trying to give him a bit of a breather, he got 10 yards with ease on first down.
2nd down and 10, back to the pistol. They do give it to Spear after his breather. Spear able to get more than 7 yards line, it'll look like. He fought for some extra yardage there at the end of the play, and I think it'll be a gain of 7 exactly. So it'll be 3rd down and 3, as the clock runs under 2 minutes now.
I think back to that first drive, the Bulldogs had that RPO look that had Sam Jennings coming in motion left to right, or right to left in that case, is wide open. Would like to see another thing similar on this drive.
They give it to Spear. It's blown up. He goes nowhere. It'll be a loss of 1 and 4th down now as the clock ticks away. It'll be stopped as the Crescent Tigers will use their first timeout of the ball game. And the Bulldogs put in a predicament as they most likely will have to give the ball away when we come back after some from our sponsors.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years.
Back with you, David Poley, Sam Gaudreau, Pendleton Bulldog Football, brought to you by Longhorn Steakhouse on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. Last play on 3rd down and 3. Bray Spear got blown off. Loss of 2. It's a 4th down and 5 with 1:42 left to play in this first half. The Bulldogs will send the punt unit out there and have to give it away to the Tigers, who just had their first touchdown drive with Mason Evans, the quarterback, capping it off himself in the end zone a moment ago. Snap goes to Sam Jennings. Referee's whistle is heard immediately. Official stoppage, and it looks like another timeout taken, this one by the Bulldogs, so we'll take another break.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
So after 2 timeouts, 1 taken by Crescent and 1 by Pendleton, the Bulldogs will punt it away on 4th and 5. Sam Jennings back deep to boot it. Tight formation all the way on the right hash is where the ball is placed. Be a little motion from the Bulldogs. Changing the formation. Jennings will get the kick. Jennings will boot it this time. It's a knuckler with a pretty favorable roll for the Bulldogs. Will roll inside the 20 all the way to the 16-yard line. So Jennings does a great job of pinning the Tigers back. The Tigers will have to go 84 yards if they want 6 before the end of the first half. A great job by Sam Jennings. What a first-half performance by him on all levels. A flag comes out at the end of the play. That'll be after the play was dead for sure. Will be some kind of extracurricular activity.
Hopefully, it's not going to be against the Bulldogs. With the way the defense is backing up, it looks like it very well may be.
And it is on the Bulldogs. So that ball will be moved up. Unfortunate there's some sort of unsportsmanlike conduct or penalty added after the play. And instead, the ball will be placed right on the 35 for the Tigers. So much more doable field position. Mason Evans fires with the screen pass out immediately to his right side. Wide open space as the receiver was number 16, P.J. DeVoe. But like Sam said, that flag was thrown shy of the 50-yard line, and that one is coming back.
It's going to be a hold on the outside. Really nice block that was really nice because he was holding the jersey of the cornerback on this side of the field for Pendleton.
It was really nice because it was not so nice.
Right. And a little bit of something I've never seen before. Calhoun Mize actually picked up the flag and ran with it to the 50-yard line after seeing it. So Crescent wasn't too happy about that. They thought he should be assessed an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty for that. But nonetheless, a 10-yard penalty from the spot will set Crescent back 5 yards.
And if it wasn't Halloween, I'd be questioning more things, but definitely some tricks are being played on all of us tonight. Mason Evans now on 1st down and 15. He'll fire out on the screen to the left. Similar success there, but only a gain of about 5 yards there on that play. So still successful, but not as successful there, and no flag. 2nd down and 10.
Does a nice job to get out of bounds. Crescent has 75 seconds remaining in this half and 2 timeouts at its disposal.
Empty set for Mason Evans. Evans fires quickly over the middle. Pass is caught. Broken tackles there. Again, it looks like it's P.J. DeVoe.
Unfortunate missed tackle by Bradley Runyon at the 40-yard line allows the ball carrier to get 8 yards after the missed tackle.
Another 1st down. Sweep was going to Amiri Acker, but the play is blown dead immediately. Instead, it'll be a false start on the Tigers' offense. And so now the clock goes under a minute to play. And the Tigers still will have 50-plus yards to go if they want to get into the end zone. Clock starts running again. Evans back to the line, now under 50 seconds. Low snap. Evans will take it. He wants to fire. Goes over the middle. Pass is almost picked off right through the hands of number 1, Zy Collymore. Had the touchdown catch earlier, couldn't do the same on defense. Read it perfectly to jump the route over the middle as Evans was looking. Took a lot of time there in the pocket, good protection. But Collymore was with him all the way. If only he was able to bring that one into his chest.
Collymore playing deep safety there, read the eyes of the quarterback Evans the entire way and jumped out in front of the pass. Unfortunately, couldn't haul it in.
Evans now on a QB keeper, quarterback wrap. He'll only get a couple there. And it'll be a 3rd down and very long. And now the Tigers will use another one of their timeouts. It'll be 3rd down and 12. A huge 3rd down and 12 with 35.1 seconds left to play after we go to break.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
It is Halloween night here in Cunningham Stadium. So fitting that we hear from the Pendleton Historic Foundation and their lovely ghost tour. Sam, I think that would be a lovely activity tonight. And, of course, during the earlier part of this week, maybe even tomorrow, a couple days after, as it is Halloween season. Speaking of Halloween, we have football right here on the field. It's a 3rd down and 12, a huge one. As Mason Evans drops back to pass, fire to the out route, complete, has an intended target, but there is a flag on the play. So yet another flag. That looks like it's coming back. Looks like it was holding on the Tigers.
Either a holding or an illegal formation against the Tigers.
I think it's a false start is what the referee signaled. So an offensive penalty has been a scary nightmare with the yellow flags in the first half for the Tigers. That'll push them back once again after they would have picked up the 1st down. It'll be 3rd down. They have the ball on the 41. They need to get to the Pendleton 42. 3rd down and 19. Mason Evans in the empty, has 3 to his right, 2 to his left. Drops back to pass, immediately rolls. Trent Garner with the pressure. He'll fire. That pass is complete. It was jumped, but overran by the Pendleton defender. And that pass was complete, I believe, to Amiri Acker. The big-time receiver averages 26 yards per reception, and we can see why. There with a huge play for a first down, and now with 18 seconds left, the Tigers have a shot with the ball on the Pendleton 26. What a play by Amiri Acker.
I think that was Mikey Harrison that tried to jump the route there and unfortunately couldn't even make the tackle.
Mason Evans drops back to pass again. He'll fire an out route. That's caught, but inbounds. They'll need to get up to it, but with 8.7, Crescent will use their last timeout of the first half. So a nice little quick out route there, a dot from Evans to Acker. As that's been the story of this entire drive, Evans to Acker. So with 8.7 seconds left, the Crescent Tigers used their last timeout of the first half. They've gone all the way down the field to the Pendleton 17-yard line. They're going to have one play, most likely, maybe two if they're lucky, to get in the end zone and try to tie Pendleton before we get to halftime, as the score currently stands 14-7 in favor of the home team, the Pendleton Bulldogs, and the Tigers get the ball at halftime.
Yeah, momentum has definitely shifted in favor of the Tigers. The Bulldogs defense has done a very nice job limiting the Tigers to just 7 points. But in the first quarter, they were completely shut down. These past few drives, Crescent has found a little bit more success. And, of course, in their last drive, a 61-yard drive was finished by a 2-yard rushing touchdown by Mason Evans. Crucial for the Bulldog defense to keep the Tigers out of the end zone here in the final 8.7 seconds of the first half.
So 2nd down and 1 here. Bulldogs defense has to be watching the sidelines and the end zone. Evans back to pass, wants to go over the middle, pressured. Evans will give it up. Evans out of the back of the end zone is the throw, but with 1.3 seconds still remain on the clock. They'll get another shot at it.
And his head coach, who probably has some relation to him, either his dad or another relative, Sheldon Evans, the head coach, of course, the quarterback being Mason Evans, a little bit confused as to why he didn't take a shot in one-on-one coverage on the left side of the field with Amiri Acker in the left corner of the end zone. But with him rolling right, that really was never an option.
Good job by the Bulldogs defense. The pressure came forcing him away from the one-on-one coverage, obviously designed there by the Bulldogs defensive coaching staff. So they will not try a field goal here. With 1 second left, Evans has one shot at the end zone. Evans scrambles around. Evans will not be sacked. Evans will fire, incomplete, out of the reach of anybody as that goes left and far in the back of the end zone. So the Bulldogs defense holds strong. The Tigers' decision not to kick a field goal bites them in the behind. The Bulldogs will go into halftime with a 14-7 lead in this crucial game for seeding in 3A Region 1. The Bulldogs 5-4, 2-1 in conference against the Crescent Tigers 6-3, 2-1 in region. A wonderful first half of football. A lot of penalties, a lot of exciting action. The Bulldogs at home with a worst record by a game, they lead going into halftime. So we will have a very exciting second half of football for you when you come back. So stay with us here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio. For the last time this regular season, we have senior spotlights. Thanks to Sam, this halftime, we are going to be hearing from Ethan Rexroth once again and Corday Chapman. Take it away.
Sam Goodrow back with you with another of our Senior Spotlight interview series. Today we're talking to Ethan Rexroth, Senior Offensive and Defensive Lineman. Ethan, how are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Doing well. Well, just to get things started, just talk to me about your journey as a football player. How long have you been playing football?
I have been playing football for about 3 years. This is my 3rd year. I started when I was a sophomore. I had not played much when I was younger, just watched it on TV, seen friends who played it, but once I got to high school, all my friends started plan and saying how big of a kid I was and saying that I should join the team. So my sophomore year I joined.
So what's it been like over the past 3 years, just kind of growing as a football player and also doing so with some of your best friends?
It's been an amazing journey. I have made my best friends now. I have met in the football team, and it's helped me grow so much as a person, and it's helped my mental state and how I go in my day-to-day life.
Absolutely. Speaking of your mental state, is there anything you do to kind of get your mind right before a game, whether that be just a routine or music you listen to or just anything on game day that you do to get your mind right?
Not really. I like to talk to my friends. I like to sit down and just have conversations and listen to what they're going through and what they have planned or what they like to do. I like to read my Bible sometimes. I pray before every game. I like to sit down with my grandpa, and he's helped me through this a lot.
That's awesome, man. Well, you guys have had a pretty good resurgence in the middle of this season. Obviously, didn't get off to the start this season that you wanted to with a 1-3 start, but since then you guys have won 4 straight. What's kind of been the catalyst of the turnaround for you guys this season?
Really just the physicality of it. At the beginning, we were kind of starting to see how most teams were playing, and once we started getting a roll on, it was kind of just of, hey, can we keep this pace up?
Absolutely. What's been your favorite game or moment so far, either in your career or this season?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd have to think about that for a while, but right now I'd probably say the West Oak game.
Gotcha. That was a good one last week. Well, you guys have a tall task ahead of you in tonight's game. We're recording this on Thursday, but it'll be played at halftime of the BHP game. Tough one against BHP. How has your week of preparation at practice been as a team?
It's been pretty good. We've had a few good practices this week. Well, I say a few. All of our practices this week have been really good. Everyone's been, as they say, locked in. We've really been focused on our plays, and nobody's messing up. Everyone seems to have a good mentality of what we need to do and how we need to execute.
Absolutely. Obviously, Coach Howell being the head coach, we get to talk about him a lot. One thing I like to do when we talk to you seniors is just allow you an opportunity to talk a little bit about some of the assistant coaches or some of your position coach. Who are some of the assistant coaches that have really made an impact on you either this year or throughout your 3 years with Pendleton football?
Coach Wooten is my position coach. He's the D-line coach, and he's helped me a lot. He's kind of talked me through what I need to do, how I need to get better, different techniques. Coach Allen is the assistant defensive line coach, and his son, Dax Allen, who you've probably talked to before, is one of my good friends, and we go to after school activities like youth at church, and it's just always great to hang out with guys outside of football.
Absolutely. Speaking of Dax, he was kind of thrust into the limelight early in the season when Jackson Allman went down with an injury. What was it like seeing Dax step in at quarterback?
It was amazing. I feel like he was really excited and really really appreciative of the opportunity to have such a high role in the team.
That's awesome. Continuing to visit with Ethan Rexroth as part of our Senior Spotlight interview series. Ethan, what's going to be the key to continuing the momentum you guys have built over the last 4 games into the rest of the regular season and beyond into the playoffs?
I feel like just having a positive attitude about where we are right now and how we need to continue, and just kind of keeping the mental state of, hey, it's a football game. At the end of the day, we're really just pebbles in the creek, just kind of going with the flow. And as long as we keep the physicality up, and I'm sure we'll do just fine down the road.
For sure, man. Ethan, what are your plans after graduating high school? Do you know?
I'm probably going to go to a technical college, Tri-County here in down Clemson, Pendleton area. But other than that, my family has a construction company. We do home remodels, but I'll probably go work in that area.
That's awesome, man. And then last one for Ethan Rexroth as we conclude this edition of our Senior Spotlight interview series. Ethan, do you have any words of advice to either some younger players on the team or just someone that's just starting their football journey? What would you say to that person?
Ooh. I would say just give it your best. Everyone's different. Everyone has different skill sets. It is just another day, another down. Just keep going forward.
Thank you so much, Ethan. That's going to wrap us up with Ethan Rexroth on our Senior Spotlight interview series. Next up is going to be Mason Wilson, so stay tuned for that. Back with you for our final Senior Spotlight interview series. I'm visiting with starting right tackle number 70, Corday Chapman. Corday, how's it going?
Going good, man. Going good. How you doing?
Doing well. We'll get things started. Corday, how long have you been playing football, man?
So I decided to play football my 7th grade year.
So was that
about 6 years?
Was that starting in middle school at Pendleton at Riverside?
Yes, sir, at Riverside.
So you've had now, this is your 6th year within the Pendleton football program, combined between Riverside and Pendleton. Just kind of what's it meant to you to kind of grow up as a football player in the Pendleton system over the past 6 years?
To be honest, when I think about it, I kind of regret not playing Little League because all of the coaches that I've had thus far have just been very supportive, and I feel like a lot of coaches have built me up to this point, like Coach Winfrey, Coach Rhodes, Coach Hammonds. In middle school, they built me into who I am for high school. And then after that, Coach Maloney, he really shaped me into who I am as a right tackle as of right now. And Coach Moody, they've all just been very supportive, man. I just love the city.
So it sounds like you've had a pretty good experience in your time as a Bulldog. You talked about some of the coaches that have made an impact on you throughout the years. Who are some of your teammates that you've grown close to throughout high school?
Dax Allen, Trent Garner, Bryce Spear, those are my boys, man. Like that's who I started with my 7th grade year, and ever since then it's just been my go-to guys, man.
So speaking of Dax, what was it like from your perspective as a right tackle when Jackson went down in the game against Keenan and all of a sudden Dax Allen had to be thrown in at quarterback coming over from that defense? What was that like for you?
For me, I mean, just got to play the game. And Dax, I never had to worry about Dax. I mean, Dax I feel like is our supporting pillar of our team. He brings us together when we're down and hypes us up. We need to be hyped up. So, I mean, it's nothing to worry about with Dax.
Absolutely, man. Well, you guys started off the season 1-3 with a few close losses, but then you guys were able to rattle off 4 consecutive wins. What do you think was the difference between the first 4 games and then those 4 games right after where you guys were able to win 4 consecutive games? What changed either in the mindset of the team or just how you guys approached game planning for those games?
Well, we didn't start the season as a whole team. We dealt with some injuries. But at the same time, there's no excuse for a loss. But as we got wholer, that's where I felt like the team began to unravel. And I feel like TR was a stepping stone for that. And as we got healthier and as we grew together more during the season, that's what progressed us to win games and get to the point that we are now.
Absolutely. Well, how do you think you guys can carry that momentum into this game against Crescent that's ultimately going to decide who gets second place in the region?
How I feel about that? Well, I feel like if we play our best game of football yet, we will dominate this game and get those 2 games that we need in the playoffs. All we need to do is get together as a team, play team football, don't be selfish, and we should be good.
Continuing to visit with senior right tackle Corday Chapman. Corday, what's it been like this week just leading up to the game against Crescent, in that this is going to be your final regular season game as a Pendleton Bulldog?
Well, this whole week we've dealt with some sickness during the team, during with the cold, rainy weather. I personally was kind of sick. That's why my voice isn't all the way where it needs to be. But this being my last regular season game as a Bulldog is kind of shocking to me. It went by really fast, and I know all the old heads say it go by really, really fast, but I hate to say it, the old heads are right, and it's very personal to me in a way. We always say that at practice. If it's not personal to you, it doesn't mean anything, but to me personally, this means everything to me, this game right here.
Absolutely. Well, as you look back on this season and maybe even back at your entire football career, is there a moment or moments that you'll look back on as great and fond memories? Anything that stands out to you in that way?
The connections we made throughout the summer workouts, the spring, and the training we did in March. All the training and the memories I got with my friends and all the homies, you can't replicate that with football. And with Pendleton being as close-knit as we are, I feel like you don't get an experience like that anywhere else, because any other team is just football. Not everybody really cares about each other. But I can almost guarantee you that everybody on this team hangs out with each other almost every other weekend when we're not playing football. As of right now, I'm on the way to Jackson Roman's house. We're about to get together for this game tonight. And you just don't get that experience anywhere else.
That's awesome, man. Well, switching gears a little bit, what are some of the things you like to do off the field?
Personally, I'm not playing football. I'm probably out working. I have a job, and I also practice shot put for track. And I just like to relax, taking time off,
Absolutely. And then do you have any pregame rituals that you go through each Friday night, or types of music you like to listen to just to get locked in on game day?
Funny enough, I listen to R&B every morning in my car on the way to school for football, and in my headphones it kind of switches to rap during pregame meal, walkthroughs, and in the locker room it just switches through the tempo. In the morning, you got to mentally prepare yourself, and after that bell rings for that final class in school, it's game time from there. So that's where I switch to rap music, get my mind right, do what I got to do.
I love it. Just a couple more for Corday Chapman. Corday, are you a sports fan? And if so, who are some of your favorite teams?
I'm going to get a lot of hate for this one. So I have 2 college teams. I like the Wake Forest Demon Deacons. Now, they're not the most successful team, but that program, they're built on hard work, and I like that. And I was born and raised in Pendleton, so I got a little Clemson. But NFL, Buffalo Bills all the way. Bills Mafia.
I love it. Wake Forest actually having a pretty good season this year. Did you watch that Georgia Tech game, that game against Georgia Tech where
I did. That was a hard-fought game.
Yeah, I mean, if the officials get that offsides right, you're looking at a Wake Forest team that probably only has 1 loss this season, so that had to be a tough one as a Demon Deacon fan.
Yeah, it was a very, very tough one sitting in my living room. Very angry at that one.
Absolutely. Last one for Corday Chapman, our final senior spotlight interview series candidate. Corday, what's a piece of advice that you would just like to leave for either some younger Pendleton players on your team or just some people that are a little bit further early on in their football journey? What would you like to say to them?
I would like to say take advantage of every piece of work that you can get from the weight room that the coaches give you to just go out and work by yourself, because no one's going to hand you a spot on that field. You're going to have to take it yourself. as someone who had to hold a spot down from an injury up until now, I have been starting ever since the scrimmage of last year, and I held down my spot. Just stay down, keep your head up, just keep working, and trust in God, and it'll play out from there.
That's a great word of advice. That's going to do it for our Senior Spotlight interview series. We'd like to thank each and every one of our Pendleton seniors for their time throughout this season. Stay tuned for the second half of action between the Pendleton Bulldogs and the Crescent Tigers.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs. Is your vehicle in need of a wash right now? Visit any Tiger Express Wash location in Clemson, Easley, Pendleton, or Seneca, and you can be through the tunnel with a clean, dry car in about 3.5 minutes. Plus, with the Anywhere Unlimited Fast Pass, keep that shine with a wash as often as you like at any of our upstate locations. Customers enjoy an eco-friendly, fun, jungle theme, and free vacuum use. Tiger Express Wash. More locations, same quality care. Why not beat the heat with a cool, sweet treat? Book Gettin' Chili, your hometown traditional ice cream truck, for your next event. You can find and like us on Facebook and call 864-844-4384 to book us for your next event. That's 864-844-4384 for Gettin' Chili Ice Cream Truck.
Liberty Hall is a 10-room bed and breakfast with ensuite bath in historic Pendleton, available for those traveling to our area and local getaways. Liberty Hall venue is a great location for wedding receptions, corporate meetings, parties, and events. Call Liberty Hall today for your next event. Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton is proud to sponsor the Bulldogs. For help with real estate, wills, probate, or your small business, go see West Cox Law Firm in Pendleton. They're as tough and quick on your legal needs as the Bulldogs on a Friday night. Go to westcoxlaw.com after tonight's victory party to make your appointment. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs is the official pizza of Pendleton High School football. Come see us on Highway 76 right across the street from the Michelin plant in Sandy Springs. We're the home of the famous award-winning Bird Dog Pizza, along with many other specialty pizzas. We also have wings, calzones, strombolis, hot subs, dessert pizza, and much more. To place an order, call 864-375-1410 or stop by and dine in with us. Guy's Pizza in Sandy Springs, proudly serving the area for over 10 years. With more than 70 years of proven performance and the best bankers in the industry, United Community is one of the strongest and most secure banks in the Southeast. They are proud to have just won their 10th J.D. Power Award for Best Customer Satisfaction in the Southeast, and they're recognized by J.D. Power as the #1 most trusted bank. They are headquartered in Greenville, South Carolina, making them the largest bank headquartered in the Palmetto State. Visit the local Pendleton, South Carolina branch for all your banking needs. Enjoy elevated living at Sunrise in Pendleton, just 2 miles from Pendleton High School, starting in the mid-300,000s. Customized, versatile 1- and 2-story home plans with luxury design selections in our 3,900-square-foot design studio. The pool amenity opens next year, and there will be natural trails winding throughout towering hardwoods. Sunrise encompasses convenience and lifestyle in a convenient location. Visit EmpireHomes.com to discover elevated living in the upstate. That's EmpireHomes.com.
And we are back for the wonderful Rogers Petroleum halftime show. Sam Gaudreau and David Poley here with you on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio for Pendleton Bulldogs football. It has been a very entertaining game so far. Your Pendleton Bulldogs at Cunningham Stadium are up 14-7 on the visiting Crescent Tigers. If you haven't been with us through the duration of the game, here's the story. Pendleton, 5-4, 2-1 in Region 1 in 3A, hosts the Crescent Tigers, who are 6-3, also 2-1 in Region 3A. This is the battle for the number 2 seed in Region 1 in 3A behind BHP. The winner of this game will host Union County in the first round, and if they win the first round, will host a second-round matchup. The loser will play at the winner of Chapman and Broome tonight. It has been a very entertaining game of football, wild at points with penalties, has definitely been indicative of a football game played on October 31st. Here's the story. Pendleton struck first to go up 7-0 on a Jackson Allman touchdown to Zy Collymore for a 13-yard touchdown to go up 7-0. Then they went up 14-0. Allman to Jennings on a very similar fake screen, but this time for 33 yards. He found Jennings up the seam. Down 14-0. Mason Evans, the star quarterback for the Crescent Tigers, took it himself, led a 60-plus yard drive, ended it with a 2-yard touchdown run. 14-7. The Tigers had one more chance to score on offense right before halftime, but the Bulldogs held them as they had the ball with 1.2 seconds left inside the Bulldogs' 20. They fired the end zone. It was incomplete, so the Bulldogs take a 7-point lead into halftime, but the Tigers will receive the ball first. Sam, what do you expect to see from the Crescent Tigers on offense to start this second half?
Yeah, I expect this scripted drive by the Tigers to open the action here in the second quarter to be one in which they get the ball to their playmakers in space early, and they do so often. I think they'll mix some screens to the perimeter with also some straight gives up the middle to Kevin Hatton. We saw when he ran between the tackles late in the first half, he was able to do so at a 5 or 6 yard per carry clip. They expect the Crescent Tigers offense to come out firing here on their opening possession.
And we are underway. Kickoff from Brody Sperryberry is returned by the Crescent return man who was deep. He'll get it to the 30-yard line, and Mason Evans will have a chance to start this opening drive of the second half off with a bang. We saw a lot in the first half of Mason Evans through both the air and on the ground. Obviously scored that touchdown rushing. Also threw a big-time interception that cost the Tigers almost sure points to Bradley Runyon. Almost threw another one to Zy Collymore that Collymore could not haul in. We saw a lot of Amiri Acker in the first half. Not a lot of Kevin Hatton, the running back. We'll see if we'll see more in the second half. Jet sweep goes to Amiri Acker, and Acker will take it past the 40, getting his speed out into the open space. Very clear game plan to start this scripted drive.
Yeah, pretty much exactly what I was thinking we would see from Crescent to start their opening drive of this second half. They clearly have the team speed advantage in terms of their offense versus Pendleton's defense.
First down and 10 from the 44. The Tigers and it trips left. They'll motion man in the backfield, but flags will come out flying as it'll be an offensive penalty of some sort on the Tigers. This Bulldogs defense was very good in the first half at bending, not breaking, allowed that long touchdown drive, late in the second quarter, but held strong on the very last play of the first half. A lot of promise that they can bring in. Need a stop here with only it being a one-score game and Crescent getting the ball to start the half.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Crescent able to drive to the Pendleton 17-yard line with 8.9 seconds to play. Pendleton able to hold them out, though.
First down and 10. It's a triple option look. Evans will pitch off to, I believe that looks like number 9, Nikira Skier Harrison. Excuse me, never mind, that is P.J. Laveau, number 16. He will lose a couple of yards, though, as that triple option look was very well defended by the Pendleton linebacking core.
Great job of eye discipline and assignment football by the front seven for Pendleton's defense there. Crescent still behind the chains.
So he picks up a gain of 3, still behind the original marker. Pass complete to Amiri Acker. Acker breaks a tackle but forced out of bounds. And a flag comes in as that'll be late contact by number 50 for the Bulldogs. That is Michael Dixon.
Dixon coming in there to stick up for his teammate.
Yeah, a lot of shoving there between Acker and the defensive back.
Yeah, that was Zion Collymore, younger brother of Zy Collymore, the freshman defensive back. Unfortunately, a little bit undersized in his matchup with Amiri Acker. Would like to see the young freshman, though, get a little bit lower on his tackling attempts. It seems like he's kind of trying to push Acker up high, and Acker is able to stiff arm off of him.
Acker's so athletic, has been able to break so many tackles there. Obviously, size in his favor in that matchup. It's going to be a long day for Collymore, but he's been pretty good at defending the deep shots so far. That ball is moved into the Pendleton territory. So now the Tigers have the ball on the Pendleton 41. It's a quick fake screen. Evans will take himself on a blast. Evans, full head of steam. Evans inside the 35. Wonderful play design there. Fake screen to the right. Evans takes off to the left.
Seems like the type of game where Sheldon Evans, head coach of the Crescent Tigers, is going to have the football in his junior quarterback Mason Evans' hands quite frequently. Evans, an exceptional athlete, has a good combination of speed and ability to fend off tackles.
It'll go to Acker on a jet to the left side on second down and short. Acker will easily pick up the first down and trucks a defender before being pushed out of bounds. Acker and Evans this drive, it's been all them.
Jordan Mattress took the brunt of the hit there by Amiri Acker, and the Tigers have been finding vulnerabilities in this Pendleton defense, which has been a little bit soft on the perimeter tonight.
The offense of the Tigers doing a very good job of getting their playmakers to the edge while Pendleton having trouble containing. Evans has wide open space off a QB read. Evans will go all the way into the end zone. Faked it to the right, empty to the left. No defenders there. Mason Evans would be good enough to tie the game pending this extra point.
5-play, 69-yard drive capped off by a 23-yard rushing touchdown by Mason Evans. Faked the give straight up the middle, and then pulling it as he saw the defensive end crash. Pretty much just walked in for the 23-yard touchdown.
Very impressive there from Evans. A drive where their scripted plays clearly were executed to perfection. Something that they practice a lot, shown there. Extra point is good. It is a tie ball game at 14 apiece with 10 minutes to go in this third quarter. We will hear from some of our sponsors as the Bulldogs try to regroup for this offensive drive.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
Score is tied at 14 in this second half after a quick 2-minute drive. Ends in a score for the Crescent Tigers, and the Bulldogs now in a situation where they need some points. Sam, what are we looking for the Bulldogs on offense here?
I think you're going to need a good combination of Bray Spear getting back to what he did in that first quarter and also getting the ball to Sam Jennings on the outside.
Dax Allen takes the squib kick. Flag comes in late from the middle. Yes, yet another flag in this game. That was one smooth in the first quarter, had some wild calls in the second. Hopefully not off to the same start in the third.
It's going to be holding against the return team, which was the Bulldogs in this case, so unfortunately going to cost them about 10 yards. Tackle was made at the 35. They should be spotting the football around the 25.
Still decent field position for the Bulldogs to start this drive. Obviously want to get Bray Spear involved. Jackson Allman has been pretty decent tonight, has those 2 touchdown passes, granted 2 wide-open targets on great play designs, had that really unfortunate interception after the Bulldogs defense had just forced a turnover that gave it back to the Tigers. Really wants that one back here now as it's tied 14 apiece. They'll head out there now. It's the pistol. Ty Miller will come in motion from right to left. It'll be a handoff to Spear. Spear goes up the middle. Spiel is tackled. Arms immediately on his jersey.
Much better job by the Crescent defense there on Spear's first carry of the second half. He was extremely productive in that first half, really showing off his patience, perhaps with the freshest his legs have been all season. Looked like a different running back. That time bottled up on first down by the Crescent front 7.
Gain of only 1. Bulldogs back to the line. 2nd and 9. It's a fake to Spear. Allman will take it to the outside. Allman will get another yard. Very similar play to what Mason Evans just scored the touchdown on, but in the opposite direction and not as successful. Will be a gain of 1. It's 3rd down and 8.
Hey, you would think that Coach Howell took that play right out of Crescent head coach Sheldon Evans' playbook. Unfortunately, Allman not as prolific a runner as is Mason Evans, neither with the ability to shred off tackles or with the blazing speed that Mason Evans possesses. Big 3rd down coming up for the offense.
Rips to the left, wide. A receiver in one-on-one coverage to the right. Allman has Spear with him behind him in the backfield. Allman back to pass. Allman pressured. Allman will roll out. Allman fires. It is caught. The pass is dropped. Wow, almost caught there. No, it is caught. It is Landon McMillan. McMillan started throwing his hands up on the field like he had dropped the ball, but that is a catch. McMillan gets it. Great job by McMillan getting past the line of gain. I guess he thought he maybe lost it at the end, but he was able to haul that one in, and it's a 1st down. Pendleton quick back to the line. Allman hands it off to Spear. Spear is bottled up. Immediate pressure from both defensive ends. That's a loss of about 2 yards. So Pendleton picks up the 1st down, but then their 1st down play goes nowhere.
Austin Whitcomb came down from his outside linebacker position and with some explosiveness really came there on the blitz from the outside. Spear never had a chance to get things going in a positive direction.
That 1st down so crucial, as it not only keeps the clock running, but it allows the Bulldogs some more than just a 3-and-out on this opening drive on offense for them in this second half. Spear sent out in motion. Allman looks to fire. Allman wants to check it down to Spear. Allman will throw it to Sam Jennings. It would have been incomplete either way, but out of bounds to the left side. Had to check down to Spear. Surprised he didn't take it.
Yeah, that definitely would have been the wise thing for Jackson Allman to do. Instead, went for the home run ball to Jennings and unfortunately put it a little too far out in front of him to the sideline.
So now a 3rd down and 12. Collymore comes in on offense. We saw him, usually a defensive player, get the 1st touchdown of the game. He'll be the receiver in the backfield.
Crescent will need to account for him running a route out of the backfield.
No doubt about it. He'll do exactly that. But Allman will go to the other side of the field to Ty Miller. Around the 38 is where Miller will be tackled. So we'll get a gain of 4. But the Bulldogs now, 4th down and 8, they're going to have to punt this one away. Collymore was used mostly as a decoy on that play as they were looking to get Miller to the right side. They had some drag routes going on, but a great job by the Tigers keeping everything in front of them on defense.
And Crescent's really settled into this game, gave up a long touchdown drive on the opening drive of the game, also gave up a touchdown early in the second quarter, but since then they've been pretty locked down, forcing punts on 3 of the last 4 Pendleton drives.
Jennings with a booming punt. Great return, though, by number 9, Nitirius Gear Harrison, able to reverse field and get to his own 45.
Nice tackle by Ty Miller there.
Miller, a huge special teams player, had that reception on the third down, not able to get all of it, but making back up for it on special teams. Now, with all the momentum in the world on their side, the Crescent Tigers get the ball with 6 minutes and 39 seconds to go in the third quarter. Evans comes up with 2 men in the backfield. Handoff goes straight to Hatton. Hatton up the middle. Hatton to the 50. Hatton will get a nice gain on first down. He'll get about 7 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 3.
Nothing special about Kevin Hatton's approach. He just gets the ball, and his goal is to run through a defender's face.
Again, that 3 men in the backfield. They'll give it to Hatton once again. Hatton will get close to the first down marker. There'll be some contact there at the end, and he will move the chains. 4 yards, good enough for the first down for Kevin Hatton. And consistently, the Tigers' offense is moving.
Pendleton could really use another turnover here as a shot in the arm for its sideline, who has seen all of its momentum swing the other way.
3 men front for Pendleton. Screen goes immediately to Amiri Acker. Evades the tackle from Zymir Collymore. Zion Collymore able to get to about the 30 before it takes 4 Bulldogs to bring him down.
And I don't love the position that Zion Collymore is put in there. You had 3 receivers to the left, and the lone receiver, Acker, to the right, who is much bigger and more physical than Collymore. Collymore is going to win that one-on-one 10 times out of 10.
Hand off to Hatton. Hatton bounces it outside. Hatton with one of his first big runs of the day. Hatton inside the 10. Hatton to the 5, tackled by some Bulldogs. Kevin Hatton doing a great job of being patient and letting the play develop. He'll get all the way inside the 5-yard line. So consistent right now is the Tigers' offense. They have the ball where they want it with firm control, it seems, every play. First down and goal from the 5 now.
5th play of the drive coming up for Crescent.
Bulldogs stacking the box. Mason Evans looking to take it himself on quarterback power, and the Bulldogs meet him pretty much straight on. He'll get maybe a yard, but the quarterback power won't have as much success that it did on the Tigers' first touchdown play of the day.
Crescent brought 2 extra offensive linemen into the formation for that play, and after its failure, they put the 2 skill position players back into the game, split backfield and 2 receivers.
2nd down and goal from the 4. 3 men in the backfield with Evans. They hand it off to Hatton. Hatton will get close to the end zone. Hatton will get the push. Hatton, will he get the touchdown?
Flag on the play.
I believe he might have gotten in there, but there is a flag on the play. The officials will conference at the 5. That'll be an illegal motion on the offense, so the officials will not have a tough decision to be made about the ruling. I believe they called him short. So it'll be 2nd down and goal from the 8-yard line.
Got to think Crescent's going to stick with the run game or the quick screen game if they get a favorable matchup with Amiri Acker.
And that's the danger of this offense. The Bulldogs have a choice to make between loading the box for Hatton or defending the outside. Hatton will take the carry. Hatton tries to get outside. Hatton knocked out of bounds. Inside the 5, though, it's a 3rd down and goal.
Great job by Savion Johnson coming from his free safety position, cutting off the outside and bumping the ball carrier Kevin Hatton out of bounds.
3rd and goal from the 3. Seems like clear 4-down territory for the type of offense that the Tigers run. They have the ball. It's just Evans and Hatton in the backfield. It's jumbo. Everybody's down. Hatton wants to take it. Hatton.
The ball came out.
Ball fumbles the ball at the 4-yard line. The Bulldogs think they have it. And they do! I believe they do. The officials finalize the call, and the Bulldogs have the football. A fumble forced, an absolute defensive stand, a goal line stand, good old-fashioned way. The Bulldogs defense comes up huge, and like you said, Sam, they got the shot in the arm that they needed. Frankenstein's monster got his electricity, and the Bulldogs defense has another life to give to their offense.
Man, that is exactly what the doctor ordered for this Pendleton team. Was not able to see who forced the fumble or who came away with the fumble recovery, but that is absolutely massive, and the third turnover forced by the Pendleton Bulldogs, who have been pretty successful early on defensively in making things spooky.
That's 3 turnovers tonight for the Bulldogs. Hand off to Spear. Spear wants to give his offense a little bit of breathing room. He gets past the 5. I believe his forward progress will be stopped at the 6.
It's going to need a big last 16 minutes of game time from Spear if the Bulldogs are going to come away victorious tonight.
Bulldogs need some breathing room first. The first down, getting that picked up is going to be absolutely necessary here because a punt gives the Tigers the ball back likely in plus field position. Allman will call for a man in motion. It's Sam Jennings. Allman gives it to Mattress. Mattress is wide open on the screen. Mattress has some breathing room. Mattress will get to the outside. Mattress will get past the 40, but there is a flag back at the 13-yard line. It looks like that one's coming back. Just so backbreaking there is that penalty likely on the Bulldogs' offense in a screenplay that would have given the Bulldogs so much more safety on this drive.
I wonder if the offensive linemen were a little bit too quick in getting downfield to set up those blocks. If so, it could be an eligible receiver downfield could also see this being a hold.
And that'll push the Bulldogs back near towards their goal line, so any safety blanket that they thought they just had is immediately ripped off of them, and they're back in the cold.
What a great play call, though, aside from the penalty. So much room to run there for Mattress. Would have been a huge gain of 30-plus yards.
Interesting to see how he had so much space. There were no defenders even in the area there. So the officials now determining the spot of the ball. It'll go back to the Pendleton 6-yard line. Bulldogs have it second down.
So it'll be exactly where they had it before. So we're just doing it over. So dial up something like that again, Coach Howell.
Maybe they'll take advantage, fake the screen, and go over the top, and what's been successful for them so far. They give the ball to Spear. Spear will get it to the 10-yard line. So that's at least something. And it looks like it'll be 3rd and 3.5. A crucial third down for the Bulldogs as the clock approaches 3 minutes to play in the third quarter.
Bulldogs pulled the left guard there, Walker Dunlap, to set the edge for his running back Spear and make this a 3rd down and very manageable, just 2 yards to go.
3rd down and 2. Allman tries to draw the defense off sides. Doesn't work. He'll go up, make the adjustments. Allman with Spear. And just see if they'll give it. No, they won't. Allman will go quick. He'll give it to Mattress. Mattress has some space. Mattress will pick up the first down. Mattress had no blockers there on the screen, but he did it anyway. He curved himself inside on a play designed for him to go outside. The athleticism of Mellow Mattress really giving some cushion to the offense.
Yeah, as a football fan, sometimes it can be frustrating to see your receiver catch the ball and go backwards of his own accord. But that time it was absolutely necessary for Mellow Mattress to do that. As he caught the ball at the 10, line to gain was well beyond that, and he just does enough to get to the line to gain, which was the 13.
First down they give to Spear. Spear immediately met with contact. This Bulldogs offensive line, you could see, getting very tired as the Tigers defensive line is getting more penetration than they did in the first. This leaves Spear with a lot of times where he's got to shrug his shoulders and really drag some defenders before being able to get that free room to work, which was going so well for him when he had that untouched open space in the first half. Some subs here for the Bulldogs. It'll be Deshaun Jenkins coming in at running back. It's a double set. Closer to the left hash is where the ball will be placed. Allman back to pass. Allman will step up in the pocket. Allman will give it to Mattress on a little bit of a drag route. Mattress will get to the 25.
Some nice poise in the pocket there for Jackson Allman, stepping up, finding Mattress on the crossing route. Kind of a mesh concept there. Nice tackle in open space as well by Hunter Dale. Tackle Mattress short of the line to gain by a few yards.
So another third down here for the Bulldogs offense. 3rd down and 4. Allman will clap a couple times, trying to get the defense off sides again on 3rd down. Jenkins will step up. It'll go from the pistol to the gun. It'll be a fake handoff to Jenkins. Allman fires, incomplete, pass a little bit high, met with the left hand of Mellow Mattress, almost hauled it in, but not able to do so. Not even a lot of contact from the defensive back. You think maybe he should have had that one, but also that ball was put in a situation where he could only put one hand on it.
Yeah, and that's what I'm wondering about. Was it too far out of his reach to get his right hand out there as well? Was his right hand being impinged upon by the defender? A lot of unknowns there. A good overall drive by Mellow Mattress, but it feels like that's one that you've got to haul in. Would have been a nice gain, as well as would have moved the chains for the Bulldogs, who are now forced to punt yet again.
If Mattress put 2 hands on that, no doubt he's coming down with a 1st down. It would have been huge for the Bulldogs. Instead, they punted away. Jennings gives it. Instead of a fair catch being taken, that'll be the ball's out. The ball's out. He'll cough it up. And will the Bulldogs pick up their 4th turnover of the game?
They never blew the whistle to signal him down.
Bulldogs want it. Coaching staff is pointing in that direction.
They're going to give it to Crescent, unfortunately.
Wow. So they call him down before the ball comes out. So in what would have been the Bulldogs' 4th turnover of the game, their 3rd fumble recovery, they don't get it. And instead, DJ Edwards' return takes the Tigers into Pendleton territory to start this drive with 35 seconds left to go in the 3rd quarter. Mason Evans goes from the shotgun. Instead, it'll motion into a Wildcat formation. Evans, actually a lead blocker on the right side. It'll be Wildcat. Acker goes out to the right side. Acker with blockers. Acker is tackled by Zion Collymore. He'll be shy of the 40 before being pushed out of bounds. So the Wildcat is the first time we've seen that all night, but we know that they want to get Acker into space. Evans started under the gun in a tight formation, not empty 5 wide, but empty, very tight, and then he shifted up to being like a tight end on the right side where Ty Miller usually plays, actually, on the Pendleton offense as that H-back, and Acker took it and ran. Very similar to the exact formation used in the Philly special. You know, that famous play where Nick Foles scored the touchdown in the Super Bowl against the Patriots, where he was lined up right as the tight end on the right side. They'll line up in the original tight formation again, and they'll go Wildcat another time here on 2nd down, but this time Evans goes as the tight end to the left side. Watch out for some trickeration, folks. Acker goes to the left. Flag immediately. That one's coming back. Some sort of illegal adjustment there for the Tigers. What do you see, Sam?
Yeah, I think they had either the right tackle or it was something to do with someone on the right side being covered up. That's not necessarily something that the layman football fan might be aware of, but it was something that the near side line judge saw, and he's actually going to call an illegal shift. So not everyone got set on that Wildcat play. I will comment on this these last couple plays coming out of Wildcat for Crescent. Amiri Acker has been the best player on the field tonight. Is that fair to say?
Absolutely. No doubt about it.
Absolutely. So getting the ball in Acker's hands, I think, is a very wise move for these Crescent Tigers, and I would not be surprised if he touches the football several more times before this game comes to a conclusion.
To give an update in the world of 3A, BHP, final score, 62-7 victory over Wahala. So they finished the regular season 10-0. They are the 1 seed in Region 3A. This, the battle for the 2 seed in 3A, Region number 1. Ackerman takes a snap. Acker to the left side. Acker blown up. Not able to get anywhere. A huge loss of yardage, and he's pushed out of bounds. So the clock stops again with 13.8. Weird play there. He had no blocking whatsoever.
Yeah, and he lost 8 yards. So it must have been some confusion as to which side of the field he was supposed to run to. I'm also very confused as to why Crescent would run the exact same thing 3 times in a row. It worked very well on the first time they did it. Not so well the last 2.
So it'll be 3rd down and 18.
Goes without saying the Bulldogs have to get off the field here.
13.8 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Mason Evans back to pass. Free rusher comes in. Evans dodges it. Evans steps up the pocket. Evans is taken down shy of the 50. He won't get anywhere close to picking up that first down, and the clock will go to 0-0. We're entering the fourth quarter. It's 14-14. It's a battle for the 2 seed who will host a playoff game next week, November 7th on Friday. Be with us for the fourth quarter of Pendleton Bulldogs football as they host the Crescent Tigers in this monumental matchup. It's 14-14 going into the fourth quarter here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio.
Are you in the market for a new washer or dryer? How about a new refrigerator or a new range? Maybe you'd rather have a new state-of-the-art TV and home theater system with surround sound. If so, be sure to go see the folks at Crenshaws TV and Appliance for the finest selection, advice, and service after the sale. Open 24/7 at www.tvandappliance.com. Proud sponsor of the Pendleton Bulldogs. That's www.tvandappliance.com. Looking for a place to connect and build community? Join us at Foothills Church in Pendleton. We meet every Sunday at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. Whether you're new to exploring your faith or looking for a new church home, you're welcome here. Come experience uplifting worship, a message with real-life application, and a community that cares. That's Foothills Church, Sundays at 10 a.m. at Pendleton High School. We can't wait to see you there.
West Cox Law.
And we are back for the fourth quarter of action. 12 minutes separating either the Crescent Tigers or the Pendleton Bulldogs from the 2 seed in 3A Region 1. If you are just joining us, the Crescent Tigers have to punt it away on 4th down and 13. The Bulldogs will most likely start with the ball. The punt is high. Bad snap. The punter falls down, and oh my goodness, it's Brinson Wilson there to down him. They won't even get the punt off. The Bulldogs will start the ball inside of the Tigers' 35 to start this fourth quarter. Couldn't write it up any better, Sam.
The Tigers have been having issues with their long snapper on the punt coverage team repeatedly tonight. That's the third mishandled snap, either it being too high or too low for the punter. And that time it was too high, and as the punter jumped to corral it, he loses his balance and was clearly going to get it blocked if he tried to punt it away, so he just fell down.
It felt like the second and third quarter, the momentum was all with the Crescent Tigers. Now in the late third quarter, early fourth now, the Bulldogs have life back in them. Allman fakes the handoff. Allman will fire over the middle. Allman has Mattress incomplete. He was wide open. Would have been a surefire touchdown just a little bit over his head. No even attempt to get that ball from Mellow Mattress. How frustrating that has to be for Jackson Allman. He wants that one back for sure.
And that was a really nice play fake designed by the offensive staff for the Bulldogs. A play-action stretch play. It looked like they were going to give the ball to Brace Spear, and that is exactly what the Crescent Tigers thought. Mellow Mattress able to come with a cross-country route wide open behind the defense, and unfortunately too far on the throw.
Second down to 10. Allman fires over the middle. Pass is caught. I believe that was Sam Jennings. He'll get 3 yards on the play. It'll be 3rd down and 7. Huge 3rd down here for the Bulldogs. Are not quite in field goal range from Brody Sprayberry, who's had his share of struggles this year. Allman, back to pass. Allman will fire to Mattress. Mattress will pick up the 1st down and more inside the 20. Mellow Mattress. He says, Sam and David, you've been talking about Amiri Acker all night. Talk about me.
Absolutely. Mellow Mattress has been a superstar in this 3rd quarter and now into the 4th quarter. The Bulldogs' offense really is at its best when it is executing its quick game at a high level and not committing penalties early in drives that set it behind the chains. When the Bulldogs' offense can stay on schedule and do play to its strengths, it is a prolific unit.
Such a beautiful thing to witness is 3rd down conversions. As a football fan, both teams have done it well tonight. It's 1st down and 10 now. The Bulldogs have it on the 16. Allman back to pass once again. Allman will go one-on-one to Mattress. Mattress off the right hand this time. The one-handed catches have not been falling his way. Incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
man, Mattress has just been getting a step or two on the defense time and time again here on this drive. You'd like to think eventually he's going to be rewarded with a big play for a touchdown.
Wow.
Relevant to the winner of this matchup is the score between the Broome Centurions and the Chapman Panthers, as the loser of this game will play at the winner of that game. Broome leads 36-26 in the third quarter.
So likely the loser of this game will be headed to Broome, it seems like. It's a bit of a drive for either team. And this fourth quarter will mean everything in the world in terms of upstate South Carolina high school football. Pendleton Bulldogs will take a timeout. We'll take a little break.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
It's second down and 10, 11 minutes and 7 seconds on the clock. The Bulldogs have the ball inside the 20 against the Crescent Tigers. Allman, quick pitch out to Spear, a speed option look. Spear gets inside the 10, he'll get tackled at the 9. A great little play. Haven't seen a lot of speed option all year. That one executed to perfection.
Absolutely, and that goes to show you just the increasing level of trust between the offensive coaching staff for the Bulldogs and Jackson Allman, their young signal caller. That is not a play that they would have dialed up in his first start, let's say, at Chesney.
Allman, coming back from injury, has looked really strong. Hand off to Spear. Spear will get the first down. Spear trucks a defender. Spear fights for the end zone. Does Spear have the touchdown? He reached for it. He'll get it. Spear will get the touchdown, and the Bulldogs take the lead once again. Bray Spear with a heroic reach at the end. The Bulldogs have their touchdown. After blowing a 14-0 lead and everything being pushed against them in this second half, the Bulldogs go back on top, not relinquishing a bit.
Bray Spear on his senior night, possibly thinking about all his memories as a Bulldog as he fought for each and every one of those 9 yards on that run to put the Bulldogs back out in front.
Sprayberry's PAT is good, makes it a full 7-point lead for the Bulldogs. What a drive. Methodical, explosive, needed. Everything that the Bulldogs wanted, they got it right there on senior night. They take a 7-point lead and are fighting for their lives against the Crescent Tigers. Very competitive this football game has been throughout the duration. Impressed with both sides so far, but the Bulldogs pull ahead for now in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, and we knew that this game would be very tightly contested. We outlined the reasons for that in the pregame show. And even last year, I remember we made the trip up to Crescent in Ivy, South Carolina, and while that game was 14-7 on the scoreboard, I remember that game just had a lot more to it than the score indicated. There were at least 6 combined turnovers between the two teams during that game, just a back-and-forth battle. That was a lot of field position battle that ended in turnovers. And this one, we have had a good amount more points so far, 21-14, with still 10 minutes and 25 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The Bulldogs have a chance to end the regular season on a high note here at Cunningham Stadium.
A 7-point victory for Crescent last year. The Bulldogs hold on to its 7-point lead late in this one. Squib kick dropped by the upman, quickly picked up, and he will be down at the 35-yard line. So ball security clearly a struggle for the Crescent Tigers, but it won't bite them there. They've already had 4 fumbles tonight, 2 recovered by Pendleton. Luckily, they will still have the ball for this offensive drive where they desperately need to tie it back up again. 10 minutes and 18 seconds left to go in this fourth quarter. Bulldogs 2 timeouts. Crescent has all 3. Mason Evans and company came back from 14-0. Evans will hand it off to number 9, Nitirius Gear Harrison. Harrison will get out wide. Harrison able to pick up about 6 yards.
Going to see a heavy dose of Gear Harrison, Amiri Acker, and Kevin Hatton on this drive, and likely adding to the equation. The quarterback, Mason Evans, will make some plays with his legs as well.
2nd down and 5. The rush was 5 yards, not 6. They'll fake the jet the other way, and Evans will take off himself. Evans to the 50. Evans has had so much ability on that power read all night. Fakes the defense one way with the jet, goes the other way with himself like a bowling ball.
And if you're listening and you're having a hard time picturing that, if you've ever watched Georgia Tech this season on a Saturday, Haynes King, their quarterback, a lot of the exact same looks that we're seeing here tonight in Cunningham Stadium from Mason Evans.
Empty into a jet. They give it for real this time to Acker. Acker picks up 7 yards. And the Tigers, very efficient, moving this ball down the field. It's 9 minutes left to play now.
Bulldogs are going to need to be exceptionally disciplined here on defense, watching the football as Mason Evans is making decisions in the backfield on every single play.
Another jet. Gear Harrison faked it. Evans takes it to the left side. And that's been their bread and butter. Misdirection, trying to confuse the Pendleton defense. Evans has done a fantastic job in open space all night when Pendleton's given him the chance. It's a 1st down and 10 for the Tigers. They have the ball on the Pendleton 36. Time is neither team's friend, but especially not right now for the Tigers. It's an empty set. Expect motion once again. It comes from right to left. It's a handoff. That's to Noah Brawner, number 15, the receiver. We've heard his name called a couple times on some handoffs or jet motion. He'll get 3 yards. It's 2nd down and 7. Bradley Runyon in there on the tackle. He's had a big night.
Nothing too complicated about what Crescent's doing. They're bringing a different receiver in motion seemingly on every play, or a running back, and Mason Evans either handing the ball off or keeping it himself.
Evans gives it to Gear Harrison. Gear Harrison almost broke through a tackle, had a big green space ahead of him, but was brought down. It's 3rd down and short. What a play by Trent Garner, the heartbeat, the motor of this defense, using his big wingspan to make a big tackle.
Absolutely, and Trent Garner just showing off the athleticism, one of the bigger guys on the field defensively for the Bulldogs, and still one of the quickest, one of the most agile, and that is why he has racked up all the accolades throughout his star-studded career.
3rd and 2. Evans goes up the middle. Evans finds space. Evans cuts back inside. Evans will get past the 20, easily picks up the 1st down. Great agility by him there, juking out defenders left and right. Now the Tigers, milking the clock away, taking their time on this drive, have the ball inside the 20.
And I think the officials actually missed a face mask there on the tackle, so very well could be set up inside the 10, could the Crescent Tigers right now, but for now they are inside the red zone, so critical juncture of the game, obviously, for the Bulldogs.
1st and 10. Under 7 minutes to go. Quick screen to the right side to Acker. He's knocked out of bounds after getting a couple. Clock actually will continue to run. They call him down inbounds. Very close to the sideline. He'll pick up 6 yards. 2nd down and 4.
And if you're the Bulldogs, obviously you don't want to let Crescent score, but if they're going to score, you want it to be as late as possible, so as when you get the ball back on offense, you're not faced with the pressure of, oh no, if I don't convert on this 3rd down, I have to punt it back to Crescent with substantial time remaining.
Absolutely. Evans tries to keep it himself. Evans blown up. Evans will get no gain on the power read for what it seems like the first time all night.
and it's going to set up a 3rd and 1.
Wow.
It's going to be interesting to see how aggressive this Pendleton Bulldog defense is, how many they send up to the line of scrimmage, how committed they are to getting a stop on these next 2 plays.
Evans in the pistol. It seems tight. The receivers will come in as H-backs. Evans and Hatton in the backfield. They'll give it to Hatton. Hatton goes straight up. Hatton will power his way all the way to the 2-yard line. Hatton knocking on the door. 5.5 minutes left to play in this ball game.
They've been able to keep Hatton relatively fresh so far on this drive. They lean on him on that 3rd and 1 play when they need him the most, and he delivers.
1st down and goal from the 2. The Tigers need this badly. But the Bulldogs have already pulled off a goal line stand tonight. Can they do it again? They sent a lot of people down. They crashed the line, and Trent Garner comes in with an absolute manhandling tackle, grabs both Evans and Hatton at the same time, and refuses to let the handoff be clean.
An unbelievable display of strength by Trent Garner, who, as you said, tackled or stopped 2 players in one fell swoop. Looked like a really slow decision by Mason Evans as to whether he was going to hand it off or keep it himself, but a great job by Trent Garner.
2nd and goal now after the loss on the play. Evans will take it himself. Evans tries to fight for a second effort, was stopped at the line, will not get the touchdown, but may have gotten a little bit extra on the end of that play.
Clock continuing to move as we are approaching 4 minutes to go in regulation.
2-yard gain. It's 3rd and goal from the 2. The Tigers and Bulldogs locked in a stalemate.
13th play coming in a drive that started with 10:18 to play in the 4th.
Tigers inclined to keep it on the ground once again. Pendleton knows it as well. Evans will go under center for the tush push. Evans will get that extra momentum. Officials conferring in the dog pile. Doesn't look like he got it at first, maybe on a second effort.
Crescent thinks they have a touchdown.
Crescent thinks they have it. The officials still waiting to make the call. And it looks like they're short. We don't see a touchdown call. It is a touchdown. I didn't see an official's hands go up, but the ruling on the field is a touchdown. So, wow. On the Mason Evans quarterback sneak under center after a quick adjustment, the Tigers have a chance to tie it on this PAT. PAT is good. It's 21-21, so with 3 minutes and 37 seconds left, just the amount of time you kind of want. Pendleton will get the ball back in this 4th quarter to decide the 2 seed in Region 1 in 3A with a possibility of overtime here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio after the break.
Attention, ghost hunters. Imagine it's dark and you're being led by candlelight through a 200-year-old haunted plantation home. Sound scary? Sound fun? Don't miss your chance to be part of this once-a-year only event. Visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org and purchase tickets to the wildly popular Pendleton Ghost Tours. Limited tickets will be sold, not for the faint of heart, and no one under 17 will be admitted. Call John at 864-646-7249 or visit www.pendletonhistoricfoundation.org today. Pendleton Historic Foundation, preserving and interpreting Pendleton's history. Go Bulldogs.
4th quarter of action, 3 minutes and 37 seconds to go for the regular season. Sam Gaudreau and David Poley here on 105.1 WABB Spirit Radio, bringing you Pendleton Bulldogs football, sponsored by Longhorn Steakhouse. The Bulldogs tied at 21 apiece with the visiting Crescent Tigers in a battle that means everything for the playoffs. Who will host a home playoff game? The Bulldogs receive the ball, and their offense will have one more chance to do it. Calhoun Mize, one of the middlemen, receives the kick. Calhoun Mize will do a great job after receiving the ball near the 30, muscling his way to the 40 to give his offense great field position for hopefully the final drive of the game if they can keep the ball where they want it in their hands.
You described it perfectly. It seemed like he was dead to rights where he received the football at the 30-yard line, but then just with a display of sheer will, able to fight for 11 extra yards, and those could come up and pay a huge dividend for this Pendleton offense, who will need to go 59 yards in the next 3 minutes and 29 seconds.
Allman, a tall task ahead of him. First play, hands it to Spear. No, he won't. He'll fake it out to Ty Miller. Miller blown up. Pass is incomplete, but a flag comes from the opposite side of the field.
It was a clear RPO look for the Pendleton offense. Slow developing play. Getting a tap on the right shoulder gains Buchanan as if to say it might be a hold against Gaines in the right guard.
And that's exactly what it was. The Pendleton offensive line trying to stay strong after that hold from Buchanan, lifting him back up. But that does put the Bulldogs in a position that they do not want to be in, all the way backed up onto the 31 after they were granted a gift of great field position thanks to Calhoun Mize.
And this is the type of thing that I know it was first down, but we've seen all year. Penalties on first down to get Pendleton behind the chains often absolutely wreck and kill the drive.
Allman, back to pass. Allman goes to the flat. Incomplete, intended for Spear, high over his head.
This is what you just cannot do if you're Pendleton. You cannot afford to go 3 and out and punt this football back to Crescent with enough time to go down and beat you in regulation.
Sam, what would you like to see here if you're one of the Pendleton offensive coordinators? What would you like to see here?
I'd like to see a screen to Mellow Mattress in open space. That has been just a surefire way to get yards for this Pendleton offense. He is the fastest player on the team.
Second down and 20. Allman back to pass. Allman rolls out to his right. Allman pressured, fires to Sam Jennings. Jennings on a drag route will make the catch, but only gets a couple, still short of the original line. Nice chunk back, though.
And he goes out of bounds as well, unfortunately.
It'll be a third down and 12. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left to go. This is the biggest third down of the game. Allman and company have 12 yards to go. They need to get to the opposing 49. Clock is stopped at 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Allman in the pistol. Drops back to pass. Will fire deep to Mattress. Will he hold it? No, he won't. Off the one hand once again. Just a little bit out of the reach of Mellow Mattress. They do get it to him on this drive, designed something for him, but not able to haul it in. And Mattress, who's been so good tonight, has also had so many plays where a deep ball fails to connect. Has to be at around 10 targets tonight for the game.
Man, that was great protection up front by the offensive line. Gave Jackson plenty of time to throw it. Mello had three or so steps on the defensive back, and it seems like for the third or fourth time tonight, the football is just put a little bit too far out of his reach. That would have been a home run ball and likely a touchdown if it was on the money. But now, Pendleton punting it back with 3:09 left. Just a 20-second drive, Dave.
Crescent gets a huge stop. Jennings' punt will go out of bounds in between the 29 and 30-yard line of Crescent. So at least Jennings able to get the defense in a good position. But like you said, Sam, just a 20-plus second drive. That is absolutely what you cannot have if you're the Bulldogs on offense. It didn't even look that bad schematically. It was more just that penalty on first down, and then you were already behind the sticks.
Yeah, I hate to say I kind of knew that drive was destined to fail right after the penalty, but just in totality this season, that has been the case. Whenever the Bulldogs have committed a 10-plus yard penalty on first down, it's just been something they cannot recover from.
Evans, back to pass. Pass is tipped, incomplete, was going short, but that is a deflection from one of the defensive linemen. That's Trent Garner once again, his big wingspan coming huge as that stops the clock. Exactly what the Bulldogs want in this position. It's second down and 10, no yards, no time.
And that was big because Amiri Acker had a one-on-one with Savion Johnson to the wide side of the field. Would have been only one man to beat.
Evans hands it off to Hatton. Hatton pushed to the outside. Hatton will get some gain there. Flag thrown near the Pendleton sideline.
He'll be holding against Nigerius.
Wow, yes. The
Massive.
Pendleton coaching staff clamoring for a hold there. They'll get it.
Gear Harrison pleading his case as to say, hey, I had him in between the shoulder pads, but the officials seeing things differently. The flag was thrown at the 36-yard line and will be walked back from around that spot. So you may see the football be placed around the 26.
Wow. Just 2 drives late in the game by both Pendleton and Crescent that could be killed due to penalties. The first one where Pendleton had the ball surely was. Now this one takes away a near first down from Crescent. They'll try to jet it to Harrison. Nope, it'll be Evans up the middle on a power read. Evans will get the first down. Evans past the 40 to the 41. They fake the jet to Nigerius Gear Harrison, and Mason Evans does a terrific job of everything he's done all night.
And the Bulldog defense will really need to settle in here over the next few plays, or else this drive will just feel like death by 1,000 paper cuts.
1st and 10. Ball on the 41, empty is Evans. Nobody will come in motion. He's back to pass. He goes to Gear Harrison. Harrison will get past the 50. Harrison gets the first down. Harrison finally brought down at the 46. Harrison talking a little trash as he gets up as well as the clock approaches 2 minutes.
Crescent into Pendleton territory. These next few plays are going to be crucial.
Can the Bulldogs keep Crescent out of field goal range? That probably looks like the 20 or 25-yard line. Otherwise, it's going to be Hail Mary shot if they keep the ball. Play is blown dead on what looked like a jet immediately. Doesn't look like a flag. It does. It is a flag. It's a legal motion on Crescent. So that's huge for the Bulldogs. As the clock, it's 2:04.
And we're going to see more of the same from Crescent for the rest of this drive. They're just going to keep going with these jet motions and give their quarterback, Mason Evans, the opportunity and the option to either hand it off or keep it himself. This Pendleton defense breathing a little bit heavy. I saw a lot of guys with hands on their hips in between snaps there.
They need it. It's that point in the game. Got to dig deep. Evans going to keep it. Evans goes nowhere. The Bulldogs defense quick on the stop. That power read that has been so successful all night, the Bulldogs woke to it that time.
And now
down at 15 still.
Now if you're Coach Howell, if your defense can get you another stop right here, you're going to use your first timeout. And now Crescent actually helps them by calling one of its timeouts. So Crescent may be going to try to scheme something up and try to throw the knockout blow here to the Bulldogs. We've seen them stay with kind of that jet motion option for their quarterback over the past few series. Really, that's been their go-to look. Could they be trying to throw a wrinkle in here to get the defense to bite and then hit on a deep shot to one of their playmakers?
They absolutely could. We've seen them go wide at times with some quick hitters on hitches to the outside, usually to Acker or even Noah Brawner. Obviously, we've seen Kevin Hatton get involved up the middle to waste some clock, and they've been very successful at that. Very clear on why he averages 8 yards per carry on the season, has been able to do really what he wants considerably up the middle. They have a lot of options here, and that's what they're talking over in this timeout. I get taking the timeout on offense because you really want to scheme something out, but if it doesn't work out in your favor this next play, that timeout could be a huge assist to the Bulldogs.
It absolutely could, and I'm not sure what the message was to the Bulldogs defense there during the timeout. I know if I was the coach in charge of conveying a message, it would be, watch the football, be disciplined here.
Evans in the empty. Nobody will come to jet. Evans wants to fire, is pressured. Pass is caught down the sideline. It's a touchdown from Evans to Acker. On the sideline, Evans was hit as he threw by Branson Wilson, but he executed perfectly, and Acker with his, wow, he gets over 1,000 yards on the season on that catch and delivers the biggest moment of the entire game to put his team up by 6 points, pending the PAT to make it 7 with 1:26 left to go. Absolute heartbreak for the Bulldogs. They'll have one drive left.
One drive left, just 2 timeouts in their aid as well. Going to be facing a 7-point deficit And David, during the timeout, that's exactly the kind of thing that I was thinking that Crescent would dial up. I'm sure the Bulldogs also were aware that they would possibly take a shot there, but what a call and what perfect execution. A great throw by Mason Evans and a great job by Amiri Acker to get behind the defense, haul in the pass, and take it the distance for a touchdown.
Acker just wrestled that in between the sweet spot of the safety coming in and the corner that he beat on that right sideline and was able to take it, haul it in, kind of spin inside and roll all the way for the touchdown. But how about that throw from Mason Evans? Evans got lit up by Branson Wilson, who was blitzing from the Mike linebacker position and was able to deliver a dime down the sideline to put his team up 7. The Tigers take their first lead of the night when it matters the most, and the Bulldogs on life support need Jackson Allman, Bray Spear, Mellow Mattress, and the entire rest of the offense to come up the biggest, to come up the strongest, and to come up the clutchest that they have all season right now.
Absolutely, and to do that, Jackson Allman is going to have to lead his best drive of the season. He's been just out of the reach of Mellow Mattress 4 times in tonight's game. He's going to have to be on the money on this final drive.
Squib kick returned by Dax Allen. Allen, we've seen what he can do.
I think that was Bradley Runyon.
Runyon, excuse me. Yes, that was number 20, not number 2. Runyon, we've seen what he can do as well tonight with the interception. He takes it past the 30, all the way to the 34. So not horrible field position for Jackson Allman and the Bulldogs offense. Coach Howell is going to have to go deep in his bag of tricks. We've seen the fake screens early. Wonder if that'll work again on this last drive. We've also seen the deep shots come this close from Allman and Mattress, as you mentioned. This would be the most opportune time, the most fitting for the Bulldogs to finally be able to execute.
Crescent coming out in what looks like a cover 3 look.
Prevent, only a 3-man rush. Allman will have short time. Allman free in the pocket. Allman has a wide-open receiver on the right side. That's Landon McMillan, who comes in with a toe-tap grab. Just a great job by McMillan coming back from his deep route on a comeback to the soft spot in the zone where nobody was around him. He'll catch that at the 49 and go out of bounds. Only 8 seconds off the clock.
Well, David, I'm not a big fan of prevent defense. I think prevent defense prevents winning. And so it's going to be interesting to see if the Bulldogs can continue to dissect this soft zone.
They'll try to. He's got a man over the middle, but Allman throws it away. Again, McMillan just dissecting that soft spot in the zone, coming back, had him, but Allman didn't want to throw back across his body and threw it away. 2nd down and 10. Still over a minute left to play, 1 minute and 4 seconds exactly.
Seemed like Allman had plenty of time to set his feet and fire that one over the middle. I love the awareness by Landon McMillan, finding green grass in the middle of the zone. He was standing on the 40-yard line, which would have been good enough for another first down. But thankfully, no further catastrophe for the Bulldogs, even with the decision to throw it away.
Allman, empty. 3 to his left, 2 to his right. A little more pressure will come. It'll be a screen to Mellow Mattress. Mattress will find some open space. Mattress tripped up, though. Couldn't get out of bounds. Mattress tackled.
I think I'd use a timeout here. They're not going to. Oh.
Yes, they will. Somebody will, at least.
Well, the chains, for some reason, were moving behind. You see the chains on the opposite side of the field?
Very unique. I think the far chain man may have thought that it was a first down, but the Bulldogs will use their timeout here. That was their second.
Smart.
Very smart. They still have 1 to go, 49.4 seconds left to go on the clock. They'll have a 3rd down and 1 on the Tiger 42. So, very successful drive here, as like you said, they've dissected that prevent defense. Finding a lot of soft spots in the zone, whether it be McMillan or their Mattress.
Yeah, and we called for Mattress to be utilized in the screen game more on the last possession. But even in this 2-minute drill situation, even a 90-second drill, Mattress able to show off that playmaking ability after the catch, follow those blockers off the right side, and set up this 3rd down and 1. The Bulldogs do have 1 timeout remaining, 49.4 seconds to go, and they're at the 42-yard line of Crescent.
We could be headed for overtime, or the Crescent Tigers could be headed back to Crescent to host Union County. It's a speed option to the left side. Bray Spear. Spear will go out of bounds. Spear gets out of bounds with 40 seconds left on the clock after picking up the first down. the Tiger defense actually pushed him out of bounds there after they almost wrapped him up in bounds. They have the ball now inside the 40, Pendleton does.
Yeah, that was a great job by Brace Spear just to get to the outside and get out of bounds. A tough mistake by Crescent to not bring him down inbounds, and now Crescent will spend one of its remaining timeouts.
Makes a lot of sense there, as the clock was already stopped, so they're not burning anything. They're not helping Pendleton. What they are doing is talking things over, and now they get out of that prevent defense, really, and they get to go to what they think is the best look with their traditional formation, now their choice of man or zone.
Yes, and this 2-minute drill drive is reminding me a lot of the Woodmont game in which the Bulldogs went down by a touchdown late in regulation, and then with 3 minutes left, got the ball back, drove down the field, and right when they were about, with this distance to go from the goal line, they were going the opposite way. So they were going towards the school from our right to left. Now they're going from our left to right. But they drew up a play and threw it across the middle to Ty Miller, the tight end, who was wide open for a 30-plus yard touchdown. So would love to see Ty Miller in the formation. He is not, or he actually is right now. Would love to see him either on the left or right side of the offensive line, kind of with a delayed route run, just to try to take advantage of this zone defense that they're likely going to face.
Just an absolute treat on Halloween night as the Crescent Tigers have taken their first lead of the game late in the fourth quarter to go up 28-21 after the Bulldogs, who led 14-0, then led 21-14, now driving to tie the game and send it into overtime. It would be the first overtime game that you or I have called in the second overtime game.
Second for me. Woodmont was an overtime defeat earlier this year.
True. First overtime game that I would call this season, and what a night it has been. Senior night, Halloween night, the night where the Bulldogs or the Tigers get coronated with a home playoff game. Fans on their feet. First down at 10. Allman rolls out to his right. Allman fires. Jennings has it. Will they call it complete?
Wow.
Jennings has 1 foot. Toe drag swag to the 27.
I think that is a very favorable call in favor of the Bulldogs. We'll certainly take it.
For Sam Jennings.
Wow, what a catch.
Whether or not he got the foot down, great job by him hauling it into the chest, getting his hands extended, and then bringing it in. I believe that will be a Pendleton first down. 35.7 left to go on the clock. The Pendleton Bulldogs now have the ball on the 26-yard line. 26 yards to go between them and overtime, if they decide not to go for 2.
I was about to say,
Sam, don't get me started.
If I'm Coach Howell, I'm going for 2 here for the win, but got to get in the end zone first, obviously.
Allman trips to his left. Fires right to the sideline. Incomplete. Again, just out of the range of Mellow Mattress. Mattress tried that one hand again, but it was too far to his right.
Yeah, I think he would have been out of bounds either way if he was able to haul it in. Allman just has been a little bit off in his connection with Mellow Mattress so far tonight, but still, the clock is stopped. It's second down and 10 to go. They're at the 26-yard line. Still plenty of time.
It's a cover 3 look. Less of a prevent, though, still for the Tigers. Allman looks over the middle. Allman flushed out. Allman has to throw it away, and he will.
Pendleton wanting a defensive holding. Sam Jennings pleading his case to the near side line judge. But Crescent's defensive back number 6, that is Nyleek Gear Harrison, talking some trash, putting him in the seatbelt celebration.
24.3 seconds left to go on the game clock. Third down and 10 for the Bulldogs. So if time's not an issue now, certainly down and distance are. They need this first down bad. They have a timeout to use. Allman back to pass. Allman has some space. Allman will go to the end zone. Receiver falls. Is it caught? Is it a touchdown?
Oh.
No, it's incomplete. The ball landed square in the hands of, I believe, Sam Jennings.
It was right in
In the
between.
back of the end zone.
It was right in between Landon McMillan and Sam Jennings in the back left corner of the end zone.
A very impressive ball, actually, from Jackson Allman. Jennings, I thought, had it for a second, but couldn't come down to the ground with it. It's 4th down and 10. Need to get something. You can think over the middle. Don't think everything all in one piece. It's your only advice that you can give Jackson Allman if you're Coach Howell. It's 4th down and 10. This stadium is absolutely rocking on both sides.
Love to see Landon McMillan find a soft spot in the middle of the defense for a first down here.
Empty set. Allman takes the snap. Heart pounding through his chest. Jackson Allman gets good blocks. Allman has to deliver. Allman incomplete. And Crescent will win the football game. On Halloween night, the biggest treat that they'll get is the number 2 seed in Region 1 in 3A. The Bulldogs fall just short in a heartbreaking collapse.
And a heartbreaking way for these seniors to end their Bulldog career, at least here at home in Cunningham Stadium. This will be their last ever football game played inside the friendly confines of Cunningham Stadium, unfortunately, with the result.
What a game of football. The Crescent Tigers will come out there on offense, and they will kneel it out. They will host Union County in the first round, and likely Mountain View Prep in the second round of the 3A playoffs that start next week. As it stands, the Bulldogs will go to Broome, now 5-5. Bulldogs and Broome, both 5-5. That will be the matchup next week down in Broome. Sam will be on the call next week. It'll be an entertaining game, but that concludes it. That's your final, a heartbreaker for the Bulldogs as the Crescent Tigers come in and come back from down 14-0 to down 21-14 in the fourth. They score 14 unanswered. They win 28-21 off a strike from Mason Evans to number 3, the star player, Amiri Acker. What a game of football tonight, Sam.
Yeah, just an absolute back-and-forth game here on Halloween night between the Crescent Tigers and the Pendleton Bulldogs. Pendleton was able to get out to that early 14-0 lead, saw that lead evaporate, then took the 21-14 lead on the 9-yard touchdown by Spear early in the fourth quarter. But then, unfortunately, 14 unanswered by the Crescent Tigers give them the 28-21 victory.
28-21 victory there for the Crescent Tigers. They take the 56 meeting in the series all time. They cut the deficit in the series to 10. Now Pendleton only leads 33-23. Crescent has won the last 2 matchups in 2024 and 25, both by 7 points. That wraps up the Reigns on Exchange post-game show and the entire game, Pendleton High School football, sponsored by Longhorn Steakhouse. Thank you so much for listening to us on Halloween. Thank you for spending your time with us. Be safe. Have fun. For Samuel Gaudreau, I'm David Poley. God bless and go Bulldogs. We'll see you next week right here